that people normally don't know about it. If you look on the bottom left, I have the weather showing my ambient temperature, pressure, humidity, and even the wind direction and wind speed. To be able to get this, you got to create an account on the AIM website and just log in. If you log in and have internet on, it will pull the weather from the previous year of sessions that you have. If you want to learn more about data analysis, you can sign up on my website right now and join the online course today.
Let's go race.
Come on, man.
Champions aren't just born on the kart track. At SimShop, we deliver professional-grade simulators with the best performance-to-price ratio in the industry. Founded by racers who understand what you need, our SimMagic and Moza equipment is powerful enough for the pros, yet affordable for everyone. With unmatched customer support and a thriving community, we're your racing partner. Visit simshop.com today.
Are you looking to take the next step in your racing journey? Well, look no further than PitFit.
With 2 locations in Charlotte, North Carolina and Indianapolis, Indiana, PitFit trains drivers all the way from grassroots level karting to IndyCar and NASCAR with top-of-the-line personalized coaching to improve physical and cognitive fitness.
For more information on programs, check out PitFit on Instagram or Facebook today.
So in motorsport, every detail matters, but we need to try to avoid using expensive and fragile sensors. So I'm gonna show you how we do it. So this is a comparison between the sensor, pink curve, and the accelerometer in blue. So we can read how hard the driver is applying the brake and how easy he's modulating his release in order to understand how the driver's braking. The sensor costs hundreds of dollars and the accelerometer is already in your dash, so you don't need to buy anything. If you want to learn more about data analysis, you can sign up on my website right now and join the online course today.
This is Henry. Henry feels sad. Henry feels sad because it's time for his next big race and his go-kart is in bits. Henry doesn't know that Acceleration Kart Racing is the United States' #1 shop for all of your karting equipment needs. Henry also doesn't know that Acceleration Kart Racing can deliver anything from tires to race suits and even wheels directly to your front door or to the racetrack itself quickly and efficiently, with tech support available 6 days a week. Poor Henry doesn't even know that Acceleration Kart Racing offers free shipping to mainland USA on selected product if you spend $200 or more. Do yourself a favor. Go to accelerationkarting.com and make sure that you are never left stuck on the pre-grid with Henry. Be smart and don't be like Henry.
One thing that is really nice about the Micron 6 is with this new IAME platform, now they put an embedded channel with the steering wheel angle. This channel is really nice to use if you're trying to understand how the drivers are behaving through the corners, if it's oversteering, understeering. But you need to be careful. Because we're measuring this at 100 times per second, when you look on the data, it's very, very noisy. So when you look on the data, we have here the steering wheel angle raw output in blue, and then we have to apply a filter to treat this data, and then that's the filter in red. If you want to learn more about data analysis, you can sign up on my website right now and join the online course today.
2026 Cup Kart South Series, February 20th through 22nd at Finish Line Karting. March 20th through 22nd at Daytona International Speedway. April 24th through 26th at Music City Karting. And May 29th through 31st at Bushnell Motorsports Park.
Cat food marketing. $9.99 a month.
Dude, Caleb, wake up. Dude, we're live in 5 minutes. Let's go. Come on. What are you doing?
Dude, I'm so sorry. Xander had me in a cat food marketing meeting till like 2 a.m. last night.
Come on, man.
Do you have anything I can drink?
Dude, I got the perfect thing for you. Perico. It's a healthy energy drink alternative.
Perico, non-GMO, gluten-free, kosher, magnesium, B12, B6,
Yeah, it's good.
B5, biotin, and 0 sugar? Pericazo! Try Perico, made with natural ingredients, organic caffeine, and supports your metabolism. Try the new official energy drink of Kart Chaser.
We all know that drivers, they learn faster when it's visually shown to them side by side what's the difference, right? So with the Smarty Can, every time we put on the data, we're able to see the drivers side by side on the track. So here, for example, you can see that Diego is taking a curb and our other driver's not. You see that one driver's oversteering and the other driver's pretty much straight coming out of the corner. By showing this to them, they're able to absorb faster. And you can even play the videos simultaneously so they can see how they're performing through the track.
If you want to learn more about data analysis, you can sign up on our website right now. Enjoy the online course today.
Are you stuck with your kart racing? Not sure the ideal kart setup? Or going to a track for the first time? Well, Kart Class has the answers for you. Our online portal has a wealth of experience and knowledge to help your kart racing. From kart setup advice to track guides that are targeted specifically to your circuit, or the driver coaching aspect with mindset, racecraft and driving techniques. If you want to take your karting to the next level, visit us at kartclass.com.
Hi, I'm Jackson with Alpha Race Hub. Alpha is an all-in-one motorsports software solution that can solve all the software problems you need for your track, facility, or series. Alpha can cover all your software bases, from online registration, digital e-waivers, a proprietary timing and scoring software, incident management, automated points tabulation, tire and barcode scanning. We even have our own mobile timing app and rental kart activity management software. If you're looking to consolidate your motorsports software solutions, reach out to us at alphatiming.co.uk.
Ready to go. Happy to have you with us here for today as the KA Masters get ready to go for today's action. We're ready to go for pre-finals racing. Justin Prince Taylor Burns with you here on Kart Chaser as we prepare for what's going to be a busy afternoon, Taylor.
Absolutely, Justin, as we have set for us before, 3 KA Master drivers set to do battle for the next 8 minutes plus 2 laps. So we're going to see how this will all play out amongst our competitors here. Brant Estes and the Carapolettis will lead us to the green flag as they head into the tram line.
So Estes and the Carapolettis of Scott and Kim are the ones remaining in the field. Insco is not in this pre-final after we've seen issues for Insco yesterday in one of the heat races. We're underway, and Estes looks to go right back where they left off yesterday. Trying to pull away as quick as possible from Scott, settle things out quickly. Remember, these drivers do have a shorter distance compared to normal for this schedule. They have 8 minutes plus 2 laps because they're each given an extra lap to be able to warm up the tires. That burns the extra minute to make sure no one has any spinning issues, no one has any major handling problems, anything along those lines. And the top 2 here seem pretty steady together here. Estes up by a couple tenths to start.
Yes, indeed, Justin. And, of course, we're going to see this all play out as here comes Scott Carapoletti around now, trying to go around the outside, ducks back into the inside lane. And like you touched on, this is ready racing action. So that means once these guys are off the track, they'll check to make sure there's no problems, need to clean the track off. It's the next group. We're not waiting whatsoever. Neither is Scott Carapoletti. He wants to lead the charge here as he'll look to the inside, complete the pass on Brant Estes.
Take the race lead. We talked about the experience for Scott Carapoletti and Kim Carapoletti. They race a fair bit. They've raced for a long time in a lot of different series, putting in the Supernats a couple times over. They're very well experienced in terms of what they can do in a kart. But they have Brant Estes, who so far this weekend has looked pretty solid. Looked okay earlier on today in the 206 engine. He's one of the drivers who came over with some top 10 speed at the C10 Grand National. Also one of the drivers that has competed at Atlanta Motorsports Park. Our next date on the schedule. And for these drivers that we're mentioning here in the conversation, Estes is the one to keep an eye on with the championship here, especially since Burkett didn't make the start. Sherrick isn't doing double duty. So Estes essentially can get ready to be in a comfortable spot here, so long as there's no crashes in the pre-final and final. Just has to score the points.
Well, even still, just if you think about it, even the worst he could finish is third. That's still more points than any one of those other drivers, as we see one driver, Kim Carapoletti, touch the ground a little bit right there, loses a little bit of control of his kart, but gathers it back up. So either way, Brant Estes, no matter where he's finishing, unless we get a couple of those karts that showed up for the KA Masters competing in the finals later, he's still looking pretty comfortable going into AMP in a few weeks.
Indeed. But they still have to battle it out here, and we know with the KAs, it's not like the 206s when it comes to Braking Strata motors. A lot more Daytona like these karts. A lot more on the power. 36, 37 lap times. 37-second lap times specifically. You're talking about these karts in general. Just having the ability to suck up a fair bit still when you're within a second. But they do have to be handled pretty carefully to be able to actually make the passes because of how technical this can get here. And we've seen plenty of times with these karts. They've handled pretty well with the corners, but it requires a lot more decision making than to be able to keep up. You have to get within 1 second to maintain drafting distance.
You certainly have to. So compared to, like you said, with the Braking Stratton, it's more draft dependent this year. Going to be a little bit more of how well you input, keep your momentum going, and run through. Yeah, the draft will help you quite a bit, as we're seeing right here with Estes and Carapoletti. But as we see Estes look to the inside, he can make the pass. You can also, if given the chance, run away from the competition a little bit more likely without any help.
Way on through with the race lead now, coming on through, coming up 3 minutes to go. Right now, Estes starting to really separate out a little bit. The long run is the critical part in how everything plays out in these races, especially with the tire management. Estes getting closed in by Scott Carapoletti, though. Scott nearly got there for a moment. The tough thing about this, too, is we talk so much about the draft in terms of the suck-up effect a bit, but it really comes down to setup, though, if you want to be able to win these races, Taylor, especially for how these runs play out. Because watch this right here with Scott. If you are not able to close up to, say, the bumper, you're in a tough spot here. Down out of the bowl, it's about near even. This time, Scott did get the pull. Scott Carapoletti does have a good set with gearing, with the use of the draft as well to get them higher up on the revs to be able to make passes, it looks like. Good balance on the setup.
Absolutely, and Carapoletti will continue to charge ahead here for the time being as they head back into the mini bowl. Kim Carapoletti right there in case something were to happen between Estes and Scott, but he's going to try to work their way through out of the main bowl. Just can't seem to break that bubble to where he can get right there at that point where he can also get a nice toe from the draft. Estes thinks about it, not going to push the envelope right now. Still looking at right around 3 to 4 laps to go.
Not too much time to go to be able to battle it out here. Scott have to continue. Traded out Kim Carapoletti for Kim's credit. Has stayed up in the midst of this lead group just about. Has maintained drafting distance. Yesterday, Kim lost the draft once or twice. Not today, Taylor.
No, not indeed. He's keeping up with a significant pace. In fact, lap times are showing significantly right around the same time. In fact, last time by, they were pretty much running identical lap times. A little different this time by, but everyone last time live with a 36.888.
Look at that, indeed, in terms of the time pace. But Estes taking a few laps to be able to recoil and build something up. Now down the back straight away. Coming up to what will likely be 3 laps to go here. Where does Estes make the move again? Wait to the back straight away. Do you see them making the move into the mini bowls? Not too many moves we've seen so far in KA's side in the mini bowls compared to the 206's, Taylor.
No, we certainly have not. So I think this one's going to be a little bit more calmer with the KA Masters compared to what we saw earlier with the Briggs Masters drivers. As they head down the back straightaway, they will get the 2-to-go signal here. So far, so good. Estes looks to the inside, thinking he can try something. Not going to work for him as they come to get that 2-to-go signal.
2 more laps around this time through. Scott Carapoletti leading for about the past 5 laps. Estes looking for a setup opportunity. Sets up well for the bowl. Take the line a little bit higher up, try to carry and track out. Not as much turn to the wheel, not much scrub. Here comes the run. Estes sends it up the inside. Estes to the point, coming to the white flag this time.
Beautiful pass right there from Brant Estes. Can Scott Carapoletti respond, though? He's going to try to get a good run through it as they take the white flag here in your KA Masters pre-final. And a fast lap of the race right there as well for Brant Estes at the very end where it could possibly count.
So here we go to the back straightaway. Swerve time. Scott Carapoletti trying to sort something, anything out. Forced to the high side. Scott Carapoletti trying to make it stick through the marbles. No. Rubber planted down for Estes. It's going to be Estes who gets it done in the pre-final. KA Masters. So the 407 gets themselves a win to start off their Sunday.
Great racing action down in the game.
Scott Carapoletti, Kim Carapoletti, top 3 here amongst the competitors, Taylor. But that will immediately prepare us once they get off the track for our next group. That's how quick we're expected to go today.
Absolutely. Let's give you a quick look at your starting lineup here for your IAME Micro pre-final. There's the results right there for the KA Masters. Estes, Scott, and Kim Carapoletti. And just like that, you are about to release your micro drivers. Here's your starting lineup here for the micros. On the front row with Maddox Nye starting on the pole with Spencer Height in second. Luca Valadez will be in row 3 with Chase Cheney. And then Caden Pridemore will be in third position.
It's going to be an interesting day for those drivers. Just waiting to see when they will open the gates or open the track itself for the drivers to go. At this point, some of the parents just making sure the last checks. You see some of them poking out to about middle third to your left of the screen. And obviously, wanted to make sure everyone can get warm here today, Taylor. It's been a day, if you're some of the crews here today, team-wise, whatnot. This morning started off, mind you, with an extreme cold warning. There was a freeze warning in effect until 11 a.m. There was a lot of different warnings that came in from the official weather service bulletins, to say the very least. 39 degrees Fahrenheit in Florida does not feel nice, even with the sun. This is the type of weather where you're wearing a parka or a very fluffy jacket usually if you're up in Canada. I don't know about how readily available fluffy jackets are in Florida.
This is where you try to wear layers. That's all I can say. You wear layers when you're in Florida in this kind of weather, I would have to say. But I see a lot of them are doing that here, and it's going to be a cold one, but thankfully the Apex crew realized that, decided to try to be as ready racing as possible to get these drivers out of the cold, to get these team members out of the cold, and of course to get the track workers and our camera workers out of the cold.
So these crews trying to get as quickly set as possible here for these drivers. Interesting how the racing fares out in the next moments or so. So obviously something getting sorted out amongst the competitors before they can go in. It looks like they're right now at the exit of the pit road area. So you mentioned the starting grid for the drivers here. Now the big thing to mention when it comes to micros coming into these races. Yesterday we mentioned Jace Cheney, for example, picked up a 5-second avoidable penalty in number 2. That shuffled their points amongst the micros. Heat 1 had no penalty of such to impact the run-throughs. So as the result here, these drivers will look to focus on one thing. Points, points, and points. Maddox Knives, who, mind you, got this card about a week ago, according to family members. Doing really good. Let's put it that way now in the IAME engine so far in Spencer Height. Like we've seen in the early portions of the day, have gone back and forth for the lead. Do you expect that to continue here, Taylor, or does anything change the trend?
With how Spencer Hyde and Maddox Knives have been, I don't expect any changes. Those two are going to go at it once again and put on us a show that's going to be exciting for us to watch.
This is going to be a fun time for competitors pretty soon. Credit to him. Working pretty solid in the blue and yellow card yesterday. Then you have Cheney, then you have Pridemore instead. Ready to fire off soon. Are you ready to have some fun? It's time for the micros to go racing. Once again, here today. So the field will now get ready to roar this time through. On the battle, they'll have a very slow run tailored to the tram lines this time. Very slow.
We have a little bit slower situation here, but they are set and are ready to go racing for the next 8 minutes plus 2 laps. And let these micro drivers put on a show for us here as they get the green flag, as they enter into the start box. And Maddox Knives will lead us here. Spencer Height tries to follow suit and cannot make it work. He'll slot back into the second spot, but Spencer, power move around the outside to try to get the ball rolling for him. Crosses them over to the inside as they will drag race to the start finish.
Maddox and Spencer, the two heavy hitters in this race, duke it out as Height jumps to the top. jumps to second. Now in the P2 spot. Valetta losing touch already, but will look to try and hold off a really decent Pridemore. And Shaney in the midst of the battle in the second pack. In fact, they're starting to scrap out in pack 2 already. Pridemore and Shaney going back and forth. They fight it out at the tail as the top 2 zip their way on through into their micro to the start and finish line.
That's right, going ahead and setting the pace here as Maddox Knives tries to work his way around and keep the pace going, put the pressure on him, and continue to fight for these next 7 minutes as they work their way out of the bowl onto the back straightaway. These two are going to go at it and see how well Maddox will have that run down the backstretch. How about Valadez and Cheney having a good little fight for third right behind as they try to work their way through. Coming down into the corner. No one's close enough to make the pass, though. It's going to be settling down, trying to get in the rhythm, and for Maddox, just keep the pace going and put the pressure on Spencer.
Absolutely. And remember, for a lot of these drivers who race in these events, like Apex Southeast in particular, you talk about a lot of competitions across the nation. 3 different events alone this weekend that drivers have to choose from. In the case of, for example, Valadez, checking on the socials. Last year alone, club to national, 21 different stars in events. You're talking about a high amount of volume. So how do you balance that, first of all, as a driver, when you have that, and of course at this age, school, friends, everything along those lines to manage?
I mean, there's a lot to change and a lot to do here when it comes to having a busy race schedule for especially these young superstars down the road. I mean, like you said, schooling is going to be critical, and it also is going to be a matter of where and when you decide to go to some of these national events and planning it accordingly. I mean, it's a lot of work, a lot of effort, a lot of sacrifice, and unfortunately also a lot of money too, to make sure you can attend these national events, as well as balancing out to compete on the club or regional levels.
And the big thing is too, choosing, do you go the quantity route, try and get as many races as possible to seat time, or do you go the quality route, or do you go the affordability route? There's a lot of ways to approach it. I will say, before anyone asks that question, Apex very quality racing, to say the very least. If you want to take part, be sure to look up Apex Karting Championships on Google today. But it's big in terms of balancing the quantity versus quality effect, so to speak, to get your bang for your buck, I guess you could put it, for your kart.
Well, that's also another reason why they are hosting at so many unique facilities here in the South Division. I mean, tracks like NOLA, they host many club events over at NOLA Motorsports Park. Same thing with the club racing here at the Florida Karting Club, where they have a lot of great club racing action throughout the year. And same thing with Atlanta Motorsports Park. That gives the chance for those who are racing at the club level to get a chance to see what it's like to race a regional, possibly national level event like we see with the CKNA racings here also, to have that opportunity to see that, maybe feel out the chances to go to those regionals, and then work their way up to the national level races that we see also throughout the year.
And as well, keep in mind, you gain the opportunity by competing in 2 of these regional races for the Apex action to compete in the Apex Finals. That, of course, going to be in North Carolina down in October. So you have to be able to, if you want to compete for the Apex Championship, be able to battle it out with the best of the best in these races here, so you can prove you're the best of the best over in October.
Absolutely, and the great thing is with this schedule, Justin, especially for the South Division, is, yes, NOLA is a little bit of a drive, I will say, if you're here in Florida and Georgia area. But if you at least start at this race here in Jacksonville and then attend the next race in Atlanta, that's not a bad drive for you to make. So that gives you that chance to, if you do well, go compete in the finals in Charlotte in October, which gives you plenty of time if you're just focused on the one division. Now, if you're doing both divisions, then it's a different story, which you'll probably see a lot of those competing in the North Division that are here in the South Division as well, depending on their category and what class it's at. So we'll see how this all plays out. But right now, once again, Knives and height, and Knives goes down as he gets himself a little bit tagged right there, and now has to try to gather it back up, but unfortunately, he's going to fall into the clutches of Valdez and Cheney, who are coming down on him as they work their way through the bowl.
Looked like he tried to set it into the mini bowl section, and all of a sudden, Height's got a massive advantage. This is the second time we've seen the 223 have a spin, trying to go for a move. The last one came in turn 9 yesterday. Now, Knives is going to have to hold back the second pack here, try and see if he can get to work ahead without a drafting partner.
Well, he's got a drafting partner, but the question is going to be, does Valdez and Cheney have the pace to keep up with Maddox? That's going to be the question. Right now, they don't. Maddox has the pace. It's just that he doesn't have enough of the draft to help close the gap between himself and Height. Heads up, if you put them on two separate, it looks like to be in more favor of Spencer Height. So we'll see how this plays out, how quickly Maddox Knives can close the gap before the checkered flag.
Coming up to the final minute. Spencer Height now with the advantage, 7 seconds, by the way. He is now point away. Mr. Cheney staying wheel to wheel. No major dives though from 217. Cheney electing to ride. Be patient. Wait for an opportunity to take away a podium position. Again, this is going to be a somewhat important spot. I'm not thinking about the points in this factor, Taylor. I'm thinking inside line for the start. You get a much better line in 8 and 9. You be able to run the inner groove instead of having to go in the very difficult outside. It could set you up pretty well to be able to try and see if you can stay in front of the others later.
Yeah, that's going to be the thing you can keep an eye on, as well as we watch these two battle it out of Valdez and Cheney. They've been putting on a good little fight, I have to say, for third position. If things get a little different here with Height and Knives later on in the finals, keep an eye on these two. They may have something up their sleeve where they could try to sneak away with maybe a second or a third place finish.
Coming up to 2 laps to go this time through. There's the side-by-side we were expecting to come up for a moment. Valdez and Cheney getting a little bit of pokey-poke. Bridemore has fallen back 22 seconds from the race leader for referee. But now the 233, it's a small bumper. Cheney to rebuild the run. A couple laps to get something, anything going to be able to take away this third spot. Watch for the run coming out of the bowl.
Here comes Cheney down to the inside. They'll go side by side for that third position. Cheney, though, just can't get enough power. Has to tuck back in line as they come to the final corner. White flag in the air. One more attempt for Cheney to get around Valdez. Valdez has to be on the defensive throughout the rest of this lap.
It's working good for Height. Knives has been able to pull away with raw speed by near 3 seconds up in front. This has been a good effort from Spencer Height, to put it very, very lightly. Went back and forth with Knives from the onset. Then with Knives trying to take the dive into the mini bowl at the spin, set up high. Height for a massive lead and a massive win. Spencer Height wins it in micro for the pre-final.
Just like that, it changes everything. Maddox Knives will finish 6.7 seconds behind. Doesn't really make a major gain, unfortunately, like what we were expecting when we started off. And a good fight between Valdez and Cheney, as those two put on a great fight. Looking forward to seeing what those two can do in the finals.
Cheney are the driver in this field in the micro class. Two great finals are complete. On that note, in quick succession with the smaller grids, but the battling nonetheless. Should see the battle for race lead continue again. The final. As those carts get off the circuit, our next class is a big one to be able to break down coming up. Those drivers are going to be the KA seniors with 15 drivers who registered to be a part of that class for today. Daniel Perez, perfect yesterday, Taylor. Looking to be perfect today again. Wasn't the fastest in the warm-up, but the big thing is, can you be fast in the racing itself? We know Perez is good on long run.
He certainly is, and he's going to be one to watch for sure as a heavy hitter. But don't throw out a couple of the other drivers I know that are going to put on a show for us. Christopher McKeith and Henry Wheeler and company. All of them really going to be trying to take the fight to him to prevent Perez from going for back-to-back victories.
Wait for those crew members to get to work here as they prepare for today. Again, a shout out to all the crew members across the Kart Chaser Nation for all their efforts to be able to bring you coverage all across the country. Multiple different races today, 3 different series in action, including, remember, at Speed Sports, makeup races from weather conditions for the Friday in Houston. And keep in mind, we have in a couple weeks' time, the Winter Series also to keep up the action. Don't forget, when you think about the big picture here, Stars, the Queen City Gambit, is only months away. The Star side is itself going at Charlotte Motor Speedway. That one, April 17th to 19th, of course. X and Stars closely connected in their affiliations with this series. So many different races, so many different battles here. As today, in Jacksonville, things have remained relatively battle-born, to say the least. Take a little bit of a breather on the mics for a moment as the crews get ready to be released. Karts are now on the track after a bit of a delay as we were just getting one of the drivers to the grid. Daniel Perez will start on the pole for KA Senior today. Ethan's in second with Henry Wheeler in third. Connor Corsi will start in the top four. Anthony Lewis in fifth. Step player Ruthell starts in sixth. Labor starts seventh with Getz in eighth. And McKessie starts off in ninth. Cuzio starts in 10th. Sherrick, Thompson, Spencer are the drivers amongst the running order. Baksinski and Vainwright were also entered for today. Of note, Spencer did not make it to the grid. And it looks like, with that being said, 12 of the drivers did make it on time. We're going racing.
Drivers are working their way through around the circuit. Perez holds on to the race lead, but here comes McKeithen putting the bumper to him as they work their way through. One driver of Henry Wheeler trying to see if he can sneak his way through. He's not afraid to get the elbows out.
Scrapping continuing early on as Perez, multiple-time champion when it comes to his home nation. Also a driver that's competed at IAME Series championships over at our next date. Looking like one of the favorites for this title fight when it comes to the seniors. After all, won 4 of a possible 6 races so far, including the final in NOLA. Now needs to be able to just keep outscoring Corsi in particular here. Corsi down in the 5th spot. Perez maintains a small buffer over McKeithen as they come out of the bowl.
Well, just a small advantage right now, but I have a feeling McKeithen is going to try everything he can to get that race lead away from Perez, and just as I say that, he'll fire it off down to the inside to take over the race lead. Henry Wheeler tried to follow suit, but had not enough time to close that gap and fill the hole right there, so he's going to have to wait a little bit longer as they come down into turn number 1. McKeithen still maintaining. Here comes Wheeler with a big send to the bottom.
We're trying to get the haymakers down just like that. Remember, Henry Wheeler earlier today, his other series, was a contender for that points lead and then ended up dropping far back out of the top 5 Taylor. Looking for a bit of a rebound today now with KA package. Seems to be taking it out right now on the track to be able to try and get a better result than earlier.
They're going to try everything they can here as they work their way through the first couple of corners. Roussel, I have to say, I'm impressed with where he's at right now. Sawyer Roussel, we normally see him racing in the Texas Sprint Racing Series, which we'll see him happening in the month of March for the season opener. But him showcasing some incredible talent in 4th position as he works his way down. And then, of course, you got Levi Getz, who had a great performance in the 206 senior race earlier today.
With a few minutes to work with on the clock already burned off, Christopher McKeithen, one in the lead, Wheeler and Perez yet again in the popcorn seat. But South keeping up as well. While the fastest lap made with Perez, the second fastest out of those on the track might have been Roussel, because Roussel is keeping himself within the tow. We've seen him be competitive. One of the drivers that's raced well on the regional side. Getting a chance to watch this breakout again. Wheeler to the point, bringing Perez with him.
How about that pass right there? Henry Wheeler makes a quick little adjustment to the carburetor, see what he can do. But how about Perez? He's going to try to send it down to the bottom. That's going to cause him to have the outside lane on the mini bowl, which could allow McKeithen to come in and find his way. But Sawyer Roussel is barreling down on all 3 of them with a big head of steam out of the bowl.
All sorts of blocking yet again. Roussel still staying within the suction, but Perez, remember, it was around this time, give or take, where the 982 turned up a little bit on the speed notch, made passes, got to the front, ran away. Perez showing why he just went on the outside to make a pass. Nicely done through turn 3. Perez has a lot of grip. He's really gripped up to be able to handle those tougher spots and is already hounding for the race lead.
Well, Perez has already got one of the fastest laps of the race so far, as here comes McKeithen. He's going to try to split the difference. Sawyer Roussel will follow through, move him up to second. McKeithen back to the lead as Perez sends it down to the bottom of Sawyer Roussel. Henry Wheeler will follow suit, and Levi Getz looking to get into the picture. We got ourselves a race, 6 karts battling for the lead.
Some of these drivers, Wheeler losing some ground now with the side-by-side. Roussel to the Rickett. Getz and Corsi stay in the mix also as they rumble their way on through. As they work their way to the back straight away. You can see just where these draft attempts are built up. Staying within the 1 second distance is big. 3 wide moves are bigger, and there goes Roussel. A spin for the 906. All he can do is stare as he goes to the back.
Tough break there for Sawyer Roussel there in the Gillard kart. He was definitely one to watch. Now he's got to go all the way back to dead last, unfortunately, as Henry Wheeler, Corsi, and Getz throw in, of course, newcomer Anthony Lewis into the mix as those 4 try to catch up to your top 2.
Already you can see Perez adjusting a little bit of the carburetor coming up the straightaway. It looks like he's adjusting a little bit of that fuel flow, making sure the pressures are just right. Top 2 have built up a 1.2, 1.3-ish second, making 1.6 gap to the rest of the field. And that's the risk sometimes what you take when you battle too hard here. Wheeler, Corsi, get everybody on those lines, lost that buffer to the trap. And now they're going to have to hope McKeithen and Perez start fighting to get themselves back in the tow.
A little more adjustments there to the carburetor for Perez as he closes the gap. Here comes the driver of Getz, try to see if he can find his way around Henry Wheeler. And Corsi, not going to work out for him. He'll tuck back into line. As they come across the line here comes Perez. Does he send it in on the inside? Nope, just going to stay a little bit more patient, realizing he has plenty of room to work with, but also enough time to maybe save it to the last possible moment.
Oh, that's what these drivers still having a lot to pay attention to over the course of this run. More adjustments coming up now with some more people making sure the carburetor is right, making sure the fuel flow is right. Wheeler stays in front in the second pack with about a minute 10, a minute 12 to work with. Looking like their chance is currently somewhere in the next state over. They're somewhere in Georgia right now compared to here in Jacksonville. But for McKeithen and Perez, I think those thought processes of who's getting the edge coming into play, because McKeithen still has the edge and Perez keeps on making adjustments with his kart. Here comes the battle for third.
Here comes a big run here as Wheeler drops back to 4th. That will move Corsi up into 3rd position. Great pass for position for him. And then we go a little further back to the Thompson as Perez takes over the race lead.
And Perez able to get the adjustment he was looking for. Now on the balance. This is exactly where we expected him to be by this point of the race. Coming up to 2 laps to go. He's still making adjustments while trying to turn one-handed. Able to block off McKeithen as they zip their way through. 4 seconds, 2 seconds, about 1 second. Well, that's close. 2 to go.
Showing 2 laps.
Yes, that was that close on the marker as Perez blocks it off.
And McKeithen is throwing haymaker after haymaker. Perez keeping his fist up, blocking every single pass that we see from McKeithen, making it difficult as he makes another adjustment on the carburetor. Corsi and Getz, he'll throw the block. Here comes McKeithen around the outside with a big run. He's able to make it stick as they come around to take the white flag.
Coming up to what looks to be the white flag. Watch the video born through. Last lap is the indication on the timing screens. Wiggle for McKeithen. Perez looking for the angle on the diamond. Now tries to get himself in the bumper. McKeithen couldn't get the peel back going into the ball. Now Perez looking for a way to get the run. McKeithen hugs the inside. We've seen though that can bog down the leader. Perez trying to get the run high side. Coming through 8. trying to cut down for 9. Checkup paused by McKeithen. Perez gets the run on the final corner, and it's McKeithen who gets the edge, holds on to third. Perez is the meat in the sandwich.
Great fight for the race win here in the KA Senior Pre-Final, and only imagine what we could possibly see between these two as they take the checkered flag.
Wheel getting to work today with McKeithen in front. Perez gets Wheeler Lewis in the top 5. And Dorsey Thompson, all by Guzio, Gassi, and Sherrick. Top 10, Lieber and Russell are the other drivers. They did not finish that race, though. They're part of the DNF list in this one. So that is your third pre-final complete of the afternoon. We'll take a commercial break. When we come back, the racing continues. You're watching Kart Chaser.
Gee, looks like we're missing the engine. What the hell am I supposed to tag?
What do you mean? It's my Greyhound. It's all I need.
Where's the rest of it?
It doesn't matter. It's a Greyhound.
You gotta make way. Okay, you're good.
I'm sitting by here with Kyle, our race winner. Tell me how you did it. You were blazing fast out there, and I mean, you don't even have a go-kart, man. Tell me about it.
Yeah, you know, Norberg, Schmorberg, the Greyhound-powered Greyhound was great today. You know, it makes the difference. And the team's been working really hard back at the shop, and, you know, just shout out Greyhound.
Thank you, Kyle.
How the did you just win?
Doesn't matter. It's a Greyhound.
Cool features that Race Studio 3 has that people normally don't know about it. The track map on the background. So if you just connect your computer to the internet, you can come up here and click on this Google Earth icon, and it will pull the background from the Google Earth into your GPS data.
If you want to learn more about data analysis, you can sign up on our website right now. Enjoy the online course today.
Are you ready to get behind the wheel? From Formula One to NASCAR and IndyCar, all the pros start here. For more information, check us out online at mcckarting.com or call us and go racing today.
Kart Zone is officially open. We're America's first true karting dealership, built by racers, for racers. From your first chassis to managing a full team, our experts guide you every step of the way. At Kart Zone, you'll find top-tier products from your most trusted brands. We believe in performance without compromise. Your karting journey starts here. Visit kartzonena.com.
Cool features that Race Studio 3 has that people normally don't know about it. If you look on the bottom left, I have the weather showing my ambient temperature, pressure, humidity, and even the wind direction and wind speed. To be able to get this, you gotta create an account on the AIM website and just log in. If you log in and have internet on, it will pull the weather from the previous year of sessions that you have.
If you want to learn more about data analysis, you can sign up on our website right now. Enjoy the online course today.
aren't just born on the kart track. At SimShop, we deliver professional-grade simulators with the best performance-to-price ratio in the industry. Founded by racers who understand what you need, our SimMagic and Moza equipment is powerful enough for the pros, yet affordable for everyone. With unmatched customer support and a thriving community, we're your racing partner. Visit simshop.com today.
Time for our next group to hit the racetrack. The minis are ready to do mini things. We get sorted out for this run through. Joe Stowers, Greer, Lie, and hold on, we have someone sliding in safe. Dear Marty Danko slides into the dirt.
We'll gather it back up and hopefully rejoin the track as Stowers and Anastasio are getting awards from officials. Hey, slow it down. We got to get ready for this and get into the tram line.
Yeah, there are 6 total competitors in this one. Marty Nanko, see if he's able to get around. Yes, indeed, but will not be with the rest of the drivers at the tram line. Off and away, it's Stowers in control. We're underway. Here we go for the minis as they look to duke it out, and we talked about this. Stowers is a rocket ship when it comes to pace. How about already 6 kart lengths ahead to the mini bowl?
Working their way through, and Stowers is already trying to find his way as Greer and Lyle are having a good little fight for the 3rd position. Hall also right there in the hunt as he looks to watch on and have a chance of getting in 3rd.
All sorts of squabbling in the second pack. Greer already up to the 3rd spot. Live. Have to see how they fare out after earlier on today in the top 4. But as the first couple minutes get burned off the clock, Anastasio looks to try and hold off the Hornet's Nest. One of the drivers that we have seen in different regions, including Texas, looking to do well today in terms of a busy racing year coming up. Speaking of Texas sprint racing going to be happening in a couple months' time. But it's time for some racing in Florida to heat up. Greer to 2nd.
Greer does move up to 2nd position with a great pass around as he finds his way around Andrew Anastasio as they work their way into turn number 1. Everyone's setting fast laps around the circuit, but no one's near the pace that we're seeing from Bo Stowers, who is continuing to expand that lead here with another second on the field, 1.1 seconds ahead of Greer and Lyle.
Yeah, that gap likely going to stay pretty large in these races with the pace, unless there's issues with the 121 machine. Obviously not trying to strike the commentator's curse into that. However, as they continue to rumble here, signals from parents and from team members, as right now 2nd through 4th stay pretty in sync. Their times last time by, all in the 38.5s. They're actually quicker, interesting enough, than the leader, 1 second back of it.
Watching on here as we watch Greer leading this 2nd group here as they try to hunt down Stowers, and they're doing that. They picked up about 1/10 of a second. Let's see what the gap is as they come out of the final couple of corners across the line. They picked up another 2/10 of a second. They are barreling down on Stowers.
Work around. Under 5 minutes to go on the clock. Brandon Nanko, by the way, 20 seconds behind the leaders after the spin on the warm-up lap. He's not been able to close out much. Hall has also lost touch of these drivers. It's been a nightmarish day for Ryan Hall. Now, at this point for Hall, it's about hoping for a better final. But the rest of the drivers, they've maintained the trap. Hold on a second. This isn't going to be a simple runaway, it looks like all of a sudden, because there's that rapid 310 gain we normally see with the pole, and Greer seems to have it pulled up pretty well. Him and Lai are working really well with the bump.
They certainly are as they make the charge. They're barreling down on Stowers as they make the big run here through the final couple of corners with plenty of time to spare as they come across the line. It's 0.4 of a second. They picked up another 10th on him, and Lyle has been helping with Greer's closing in. And oh, trouble for Stowers. He gets a little too loose, goes up the racetrack, and just like that, drops all the way back to fourth.
Had to work the hands quickly, and now all of a sudden, Stowers has to get to work. Still has a lot of time to go on the clock, but now, your driver who's led much of the way this entire event, Stowers has to go from fourth. It's Greer up in the lead, and Greer, who's looked strong in his races all year also, now continues to work with his power on the track of the 148. That pink and teal machine gonna need to go for some spots quickly, Taylor.
Certainly is the case. It's time to go to work here for the driver of both Stowers as he will get to the back bumper of Anastasio, and he will try to get around him as quickly as possible to the inside. Makes the pass complete, and now has moved up to third. Battle for the race lead
side
right
by
now.
side though for the race lead.
Anastasio takes over the spot.
Able to switch on through there as there goes Lai up to the position. Lai able to jump up to the lead, but now Stowers is already going for second. Lai not gonna feed draft to Stowers. Stowers on raw speed gets himself the second spot by the nose. Little bit of a wheel hop, and back goes Greer as a result of it. 2 minutes to go.
This is a big-time change, and now Stowers and Lyle and Anastasio are really putting on a show here as they try to find their way through. Same thing with Hank Lyle as Lyle leads the charge coming through the corner of the bowl. Can Stowers get the run he needs to get around and reclaim the lead after making that mistake a couple of laps ago?
All the way on through with 90 seconds to work with. Only a few laps to be able to get this lead back. Lai really good here today. Now, see where things will go here in the minis. Lai, so far this season, his first start here in Apex competition. Greer came into this race, still the points leader with 451. The Stowers is 433. Stowers all over the back end of the 148. Coming up to what may very likely be 3 to go here. Might be 4. It's 43 seconds on the clock, 38-second lap times. Stowers is in the grass. Would that be a quarter cut? He did give back the time, but he's now getting bumped by Anastasio.
Yeah, Anastasio is all over the back bumper of both Stowers as they come through the bowl. Coming out of there, they will try to get a good run. Stowers goes a little wide to see if he can build some momentum in his favor. Now tucks to the inside. Lyle's going to try and chase him down the racetrack, and he will take over the race lead. Here comes Anastasio to the inside to take over for second.
So Stowers, who looks to try and position himself as a possible contender. Well, contender to take away the championship lead by the end of the day, rather, is now up in front with 3 laps to go. Anastasio trying to play off the hornet's nest of Lai and Greer. Greer needs spots, and he needs them now. We talked about yesterday, need a little bit more oomph in terms of the KA package for the IAMEs. And now, losing touch at the worst time. The draft, though, does help second and third, coming to 2 to go. come, coming on through, going off into the bowl section. Right now, Stowers has a small buffer. That buffer should get closed up here. Anastasio already trying to line up wheel to wheel as they work their way to turn 8, coming to the white flag. Big block by Stowers. Here comes line to the outside.
That will move Anastasio back into second place there with that beautiful pass, and that gives them plenty of room to work with for Bo Stowers as they almost go 3 wide into turn 1 and 2. A little bit of a bump right there from Hank Lyle to try and get back around Andrew Anastasio as they work their way through the bowl. I gotta say, Bo Stowers grinning from ear to ear with this chance.
Big chances have popped up all throughout these races so far. And now with drivers running out of time, what will they do on the final lap with the sends? The 143 blocks. Stowers celebrates. Stowers gets himself the pre-final. Anastasio does hold on with second. Ryan third, Greer in fourth, Hall and Martinenko. The drivers how they line up here. An ultimate pre-final of the afternoon is up for one more of those coming up. Here's the intervals. 1 second at the end. Stowers went from having a block with 2 to go, Taylor, to a massive advantage. That's how busy they got for second.
They certainly did, and that was a big help right there for both Stowers to come home with the win. With Lyle and Anastasio and Greer really got aggressive with each other and lost focus on what was happening around.
Said, one more race to go before we transition to the mains. Take a look at some of the various things to mention for those. We do have a big bulletin for the pre-final at Estes with how things get positioned for the final. It's going to be at the back of the order, possibly. The qualification was first. Scott Carapoletti would be the front runner for the green flag itself. In terms of the Masters, the Micros still have high in front of Nimes over Gladys, Cheney, and Pridemore. All other running orders still waiting. So we are ready racing as mentioned, and this is the quickest turnaround we've had here between sections. Taylor, I believe you've got that run through coming up here in a moment. These drivers hit the track.
Absolutely. Let's go ahead and give you your starting lineup here for your drivers in the KA Junior category. As they work their way through, here is your pre-final grid. On the front row, it is going to be Bowen Green with Cameron Johnson in second place. Row 2 will be Oliver Nybert and Kai Mars. Row 3 will be Brandon Soraki and Sean Portnob, followed by Jet Price and Harrison Perklow. Dean Saunders and Arthur Napatian, followed by Jesse Frazier and Graham Eslick. Jiju Sivakumar and Callan Barfield, and Tyrone Kemper Jr., of course, did not start. We'll see if he shows up for the pre-final or final event.
Let's look top to bottom at the running order here today as these drivers get ready for the tram lines. The field being told to get ready and get steady. Are you ready to get battle leave ready? Well, puns may not be rolling off the tongue, but I will say this. The field's ready to roll off to the green flag. Green, green, green. Green gets a good launch. Everyone rumbles their way for the outer grooves. No spinnies. And everybody makes their way through. Nyberg jumps to second. The battles are on behind them, though. Johnson, Mars, and we have a spin. 3 carts taking off with it. And chaos abound as some of the drivers had to go wide to avoid. That included Jesse Frazier.
Yeah, a tough break for Frazier as he is going to have to find a way to recover as we go back up to the front of the field. Bowen Green having to throw the haymakers of blocks around the circuit as Cameron Johnson tries to work the outside. Nybert will follow to second, crosses over. Johnson takes that back over to slide into second again as they work their way across the line with 7 minutes to go. Soraki now trying to see if he can come into play and have a chance as trouble for one driver. That's the 872 machine of Arthur, who unfortunately looks to be out of the race with engine failure.
Again, having issues indeed with their kart. That leaves 13 running on the track. Work is on for some of the drivers as some of those top kart covered machines look to get to work. Johnson, we know, has the pace, but it's been about survival. Remember, one race, it was Johnson spun around the last lap. The other race, it was Saraki. They're both still in the lead through, and both looking to square away things today in the Franklin machine. Going to be interesting if they can work together this time, Taylor, and not get to the point where you break rule number 1 of stock car racing, where you don't wreck your teammate.
Well, that's not going to be the case right now, because here comes Johnson around. He will have Nyberg follow him. And then it looks like also Saraki will follow his third. That gives Green, his teammate of Kai Mars, to work with him. And you know how well they have worked together this season as they try to get themselves ready to go and get themselves a chance to go back to the front.
Indeed, as they rumbled their way through. It'll be interesting how some of these battles scrap along here. Some of the drivers have lost touch, as we've seen. Couldn't believe one of the Aiken Racing machines. Shout out to Aiken Racing, especially for the fans watching along from that camp. But in all seriousness, though, it's the setup here. We know Oliver Nyberg all weekend long, no matter the class, has been inside the conversation here for a good point today. Race since 2021. Loves the coverage here, obviously, but also raced a fair bit in the Star Series this year. Were to announcements over time, raced at Trackhouse with the IAME Grand Nationals a few months ago, about a half a year ago. Races in a fair bit of everything, to say the very least. And also part of the IAME Karting Racing Summer Series back in 2023. Very active in terms of trying to get seat time. He's been very active whenever we've seen him on this track in the past few weeks.
Absolutely, and that's one of the things. It's why it's so incredible why we see a lot of drivers racing in this level, along with what we'll see at the CKNAs, because CKNA, we saw a lot of the drivers that are racing here in the CKNA events. So it's great to see these drivers. And then, of course, we'll be back here later on in this year for the Florida Karting Championship as well. So we'll probably see some more familiar faces coming out here to race at this track later on in October as we watch these drivers negotiate. Cameron Johnson once again setting another blistering lap around the circuit with help from Nyberg and Saraki as they come through the mini bowl.
Saraki doing a brilliant job being able to work up in this pack. Didn't get a good line though. Line sensitivity is a big thing in the bowl section. If you're not able to maintain that bottom of the circuit, you lose touch. Saraki had to adjust the wheel in the middle of that corner, lost 3 kart lanes, Taylor, alone.
My question right now is Green and Mars are losing a lot more pace right now. In fact, they have fallen off significantly to your race leaders. They're over 2 and second, basically falling off about 4 to 6 tenths a lap, just about each lap. And that's not good for them in this situation.
Coming to 3 minutes to go. Nyberg going up for the race lead. Thought about it, couldn't get the run he was looking for. Elected to go back and reset. Those small pumps, we might see more of those, test the waters, if you will, to see if the water is cold, lukewarm, blazing hot, or just right. The Goldilocks effect.
Well, I'm pretty sure everybody was wishing the water was a little, not as cold as it is right now. So, it is a trouble for some drivers right there. Yeah, there was. Yes. That was a couple of drivers. That's the 815 of Price. Jet Price having some issues. Couldn't catch the other driver, but I have a feeling it might have been either Burklow or Esslix who had some issues with him as well.
That's one of the Aiken Racing cars in Price indeed that have gone around. Leaders go to that same section here with no issue. Johnson remains the leader. He's led a majority of the way here in the KA Junior pre-final. Now, the main thing, at least to me, for Cameron Johnson is, can he withstand the pressure he's going to be feeling in the next minute? Well, never mind. How about the next 10 seconds? Nyberg takes it away. What can I say? Test the waters, and I guess the water's perfect now.
Water's perfect indeed for Nyberg for the moment. If he can just keep it on the straight and narrow, keep it off the grass, and he will have a shot maybe of winning the pre-final event in KA Junior. As Cameron Johnson, though, puts a little bit more pressure on to see if he can have a chance to get back up to the front of the field here in this pre-final event.
Continue to duke it out, battle it out, everyone shake it out. Now the teammates are working here. They just set that up on a platter perfectly. Saraki and Johnson able to jump ahead together. 1-2, up in the head of the field. And now it gets even more trickier. Nyberg doesn't have a dancing partner to work with here. And Saraki is going to do a lot to try and hold on to make sure Johnson can get this one.
I have a feeling he's going to do everything he can to play defender to keep Nyberg behind. And so far it's working out. Nyberg's going to go all the way to the bottom. Nyberg's throwing his hand up like, what are you doing? Go forward. And Saraki's like, nah, I'm just going to stay right here. No problem.
No problems indeed with 3 laps to go this time through. Johnson with the largest lead in the race. 0.8 of a second. Johnson came into this race as the points leader. The distance about 28 points over Nyberg in the standings so far in this one. Portnoy did come in third in the standings with 399 points, about 11 points back of Nyberg. But Portnoy hasn't been able to match up so far this one. He was 7th in last timeout's final at Noah, and so far it's been around 4th to 8th on the range. Looking to be in the middle of that in 6th today. Nyberg has taken second away again, but it might be too little too late, Taylor. 2 to go, and he's barely holding on to 1 second.
Yeah, right now he lost 0.2 of a second last time by just about. So he's got quite a bit of work to do to make this work. He'll go to the bottom of the racetrack to try to prevent Saraki from getting by him. Saraki's still going to fight with him, which is going to cost Nyberg more time to try and chase down Cameron Johnson as they come to take the white flag.
White flag is out final time around. Johnson, he's got one hand at the top step of the pre-final podium. He's in a good spot to start on your pole. Saraki and Nyberg are ready to see what happens in their fight, though. Who gets to start on the outside front row? Who gets to start on the inside row too, give or take? Here comes the move for Nyberg to the outside. Looking around it on the outside of 8. Can he make it stick? Did hit a bump. Those bumps coming out of 8. Not helpful at all. It's Johnson with the win. It's Saraki in second, and it's Nyberg in third. Though in the end, it's the difference of 1 hit of the bumps coming on the outside of turn 8 that cost Nyberg a chance for second.
It certainly did, and that's going to be a tough break there for Nyberg. But a good run for Saraki, and I'm pretty sure Saraki's going to try to work with Cameron Johnson as much as he can to make sure they have a chance to make it a good 1-2 finish for them.
It's Johnson, Saraki, and Nyberg in green. It's Martin Eslin, followed by Portnoy, who falls to 7th in the end by a couple cents to Eslin. Saunders, Burklow, and Barfield all get top 10 runs here today. Kumar, Frazier, and Price, drivers that you'll find on page 2. Now, Petyen didn't really get launched off today. He finished off 14th. So, Taylor, that completes your pre-finals. Your thoughts heading into the finals coming up?
It's going to be an exciting one for sure in all of our categories. It's time to give out the big points. Time to give out the big trophies here when we wrap up the action in every single one of our main events. And we're happy to have all of you here at the track or tuning in live on Kart Chaser for this amazing event as we try to get things ready to roll, ready racing, and get everyone out of the pool.
Let's take the break. You're watching Kart Chaser for today's coverage of Apex Karting here in the Southeast.
Are you looking to take the next step in your racing journey? Well, look no further than PitFit.
With 2 locations in Charlotte, North Carolina and Indianapolis, Indiana, PitFit trains drivers all the way from grassroots level karting to IndyCar and NASCAR with top-of-the-line personalized coaching to improve physical and cognitive fitness.
For more information on programs, check out PitFit on Instagram or Facebook today.
So in motorsport, every detail matters, but we need to try to avoid using expensive and fragile sensors. So I'm gonna show you how we do it. So this is a comparison between the sensor, pink curve, and the accelerometer in blue. So we can read how hard the driver is applying the brake and how easy he's modulating his release in order to understand how the driver's braking. The sensor costs hundreds of dollars and the accelerometer is already in your dash, so you don't need to buy anything.
If you want to learn more about data analysis, you can sign up on our website right now. Enjoy the online course today.
This is Henry. Henry feels sad. Henry feels sad because it's time for his next big race and his go-kart is in bits. Henry doesn't know that Acceleration Kart Racing is the United States' #1 shop for all of your karting equipment needs. Henry also doesn't know that Acceleration Kart Racing can deliver anything from tires to race suits and even wheels directly to your front door or to the racetrack itself quickly and efficiently, with tech support available 6 days a week. Poor Henry doesn't even know that Acceleration Kart Racing offers free shipping to mainland USA on selected product if you spend $200 or more. Do yourself a favor. Go to accelerationkarting.com and make sure that you are never left stuck on the pre-grid with Henry. Be smart and don't be like Henry.
One thing that is really nice about the Micron 6 is with this new IAME platform, now they put an embedded channel with the steering wheel angle. This channel is really nice to use if you're trying to understand how the drivers are behaving through the corners, if it's oversteering, understeering. But you need to be careful. Because we're measuring this at 100 times per second, when you look on the data, it's very, very noisy. So when you look on the data, we have here the steering wheel angle raw output in blue, and then we have to apply a filter to treat this data, and then that's the filter in red.
If you want to learn more about data analysis, you can sign up on our website right now. Enjoy the online course today.
The 2026 Cup Kart South Series, February 20th through 22nd at Finish Line Karting, March 20th through 22nd at Daytona International Speedway, April 24th through 26th at Music City Karting, and May 29th through 31st at Bushnell Motorsports Park.
Cat food marketing. $9.99 a month.
Dude, Caleb, wake up. Dude, we're live in 5 minutes. Let's go. Come on. What are you doing?
Dude, I'm so sorry. Xander had me in a cat food marketing meeting till like 2 a.m. last night.
Come on, man.
Do you have anything I can drink?
Dude, I got the perfect thing for you. Perico, it's a healthy energy drink alternative.
Perico, non-GMO, gluten-free, kosher, magnesium, B12, B6,
Yeah, it's good.
B5, biotin, and 0 sugar? Pericazo! Try Perico, made with natural ingredients, organic caffeine, and supports your metabolism. Try the new official energy drink of Kart Chaser.
We all know that drivers, they learn faster when it's visually shown to them side by side what's the difference, right? So with the Smarty Can, every time we put on the data, we're able to see the drivers side by side on the track. So here, for example, you can see that Diego is taking a curb and our other driver's not. You see that one driver's oversteering and the other driver's pretty much straight coming out of the corner. By showing this to them, they're able to absorb faster. And you can even play the videos simultaneously so they can see how they're performing through the track.
If you want to learn more about data analysis, you can sign up on our website right now. Enjoy the online course today.
Are you stuck with your kart racing? Not sure the ideal kart setup? Or going to a track for the first time? Well, Kart Class has the answers for you. Our online portal has a wealth of experience and knowledge to help your kart racing. From kart setup advice to track guides that are targeted specifically to your circuit, or the driver coaching aspect with mindset, racecraft and driving techniques. If you want to take your karting to the next level, visit us at kartclass.com.
Kart's back on the racetrack as we get set to go for the finals here on Kart Chaser. I'll be happy with us for coverage of the Apex Karting Championships. The Southeast region is set for its final rotation of races of the weekend. Scott Carpoletti, Brett Estes, and Kim Carpoletti are the three drivers that are set to do battle in this one, Taylor. We'll see how the 406 and 407 and 436 duke it on out to try and win themselves the top step of the podium.
Absolutely. We're going to have ourselves a good little fight here for the next 11 minutes plus 2 laps as they enter into the tram line. Estes and Carapolettis will go head-to-head here. How will this all play out? Let's find out as they enter into the start box. Green flag, and we are racing for the KA Masters Finals.
Oh, and a bit of a slow up there. Issues already for the 435. And that is Estes. Remember, his card has a 435 on it. It's 407 on top, and it's scoring. But Estes will have to immediately try and find a way to dig. And remember, it wasn't as simple as yesterday's heats, where yesterday we've seen some breakaways for some of the cards here. No, the last race in the pre-final, everyone stayed within about a second or so, Taylor. So that's going to take a lot of effort for Estes to get back in the draft.
It really is. So he's got to work it out here and do it quickly as he tries to find his way. Meanwhile, Scott Carapoletti going to settle himself in for the run and just try to play keep away from Kim Carapoletti.
$10 minutes to work with here in this one as we continue to zip through here. So Scott Carapoletti, last time through, had a 37.5 to begin things off here in this one. It looks like Estes does have the ability to just about maintain drafting distance, has been able to chip away back to Kim, as Kim has turned into a bridge card. Already losing a bit of touch here, and this is exactly what Estes needed to get back up in the mix.
Absolutely, Carapolettis will now work their way through. Kim Carapoletti, I have to say, putting on a good run as he's running a little bit faster than Scott Carapoletti, and Brent Estes is really dropping the hamper, running almost 0.4 of a second faster than your race leader as they head down the back straightaway.
So they go with the Carapoletti yet again, trying to work ahead, but as we go here, Taylor, these competitors are just a fair bit at the national level, and the Carapoletti not going to do the championship performances all across the region. And for example, if you're fall back in 2020 with second and third place run, they took part in the X30 Masters. At the time, Austin Queen was the one who picked up that championship. Carapolettis do have ability to compete for the championship and have scored championships in their racing career.
Certainly do, as we watch on here. With this, the Carapolettis, as they run in the championship, they've moved up a little bit, but we'll see how it all plays out once the finals have wrapped up. Brant Estes, though, with winning pretty much everything so far since the start of this weekend, he is pretty much going to have a comfortable lead. But as he closes in on both Carapolettis, he's going to try everything again to make sure he can continue his chance of having the perfect weekend.
Through here, and Estes now back in within a couple car lengths. Let's reduce the gap from here. 2 seconds back in the leader to about 0.8 of a second. The 407 has pushed hard to get back here. Good effort so far by Estes. And Kim Carapoletti nearly spun it out. Here it comes. Estes on the run for second.
And Estes will take it over that second position right there in a great fashion. Now the gap between them is about half a second, and he's got plenty of room to work with as he works his way out of turn one.
Able to get on through. And now Estes is up to second yet again, right about the reset. Where about they were off the starting blocks. Still, less than 7 minutes to be able to retake the lead here. Look at how much the dig's coming into play. Estes really saw what we talked about when it came to his ability to draft up with the setup, with the way the gearings work, and when he's not in the draft, when it's one-on-one, cart-to-cart combat. Seeing that coming to play here with the corners in particular. Estes is chipping away.
As he is starting to chip away more and more here as they come down the back straightaway. So far, so good for Brant Estes as he tries to see if he can get ready for a slingshot around Scott Carapoletti. And as he does so, no change yet. But he is tempted, though, trying to see if he can run away if given the opportunity.
So how do you play this the rest of the way here if you're Estes? It seems as though he's in a good spot to pounce Taylor. How do you play it?
For me, right now, if I was Brent Estes, just focus on trying to separate yourself from Kim Carapoletti with Scott as best you can and just settle in. We got plenty of time. Brant has the pace. We saw that. Even with that mistake where he got moved away, he was able to find his opening and catch back up quickly. So I would have to say he's going to have to just be a little patient. There's plenty of room to work with, plenty of time. Not push the envelope. Let Scott use up his stuff if need be. Let him be the rapper.
Their way out of the bowl section this time through. Looking through as Estes stays and pushes, and indeed following exactly what you said to break him away from this top two grouping. Scott has led just about all the laps so far here today. Estes waits in the wings for any bit of a slip up here. Estes so far on the pace. Last time through about near 8/100ths quicker than Carapoletti. Kim Carapoletti 5/10 back off the race lead as we go here. And what else has been brought to the attention? Well, it's time to go for the race lead. Estes goes up to the point, able to take the pass to the back straight away. Doesn't wait until the final minute, says enough's enough, I want to pull away.
They are going to, and Brant Estes will start to stretch that lead out. In fact, last time by, he ran about 4/10 of a second faster than Scott Carapoletti, even with that pass. So he has got the pace. I think for the Carapolettis, that cart starting to taper off just a little bit for the both of them. They have to figure out what the adjustments they need. As there you saw Scott go a little too wide into the dirt.
A little bit of a push there from Scott. Now all of a sudden Estes gets the chance to build a bit more of a buffer. Talking about the championship conversation yet again. Once these drivers, Estes, your championship favorite. Forget had originally been entered, but of course, when they're not on the track, it's all zeros going to be in the category. Scott Carapoletti, right now 180 point, all scored today. Kim Carapoletti got his qualification with heat number 2, has scored a grand total of 132 over the course of the event. For those wanting to keep track of the point structure for their bingo cards. Estes essentially in hand for the championship, but it wouldn't be out of touch. It depends on what Burkett does when we go to Atlanta Motorsports Park in a couple months' time, Taylor.
Absolutely, and it's going to be amazing to see how this will all play out. And also, if you think about it, Justin, who are going to be the other drivers that could come in there and maybe not stink up the show, but in a sense, be those drivers or those hometown favorites, if you think about it, who are regulars at that track that could come out and race in well. So it's the same thing we saw back at NOLA, the same thing we are seeing here at the North Florida Kart Club. It's just a matter of, and what makes this series so unique is you get your ones that are going to run the regional pool tour, but then you get your local heroes that come out here and race it as well.
Exactly here, and it allows the opportunity for drivers to really show at a big level against some of the top talents at the national level and show that they can compete against the best of the best when you give them a platform. Estes, by the way, his platform has grown up pretty significantly, already almost up 2 seconds here. The gap continues to widen, and right now it's all Estes up in front. The Carapolettis of Scott and Kim, second and third. Podium regardless of how things shuffle here. It was looking uncertain for Estes to start things off at the front of the field. It took a lot of effort here, Taylor, but it looks like Estes is in a comfortable spot, just cannot afford another spin.
Yep, that's all he has to do is just keep it on the pavement, don't make a mistake, and was looking right around 3, maybe 4, about 4 laps to go possibly for our leaders. He is looking very comfortable.
23 seconds left on the board. Drivers are running about 36-second lap time, give or take. We're looking coming to 3 laps to go. And keep in mind for the rest of the races here this afternoon, talking about some of the orders here. Keithan and Perez ready to start things off. The K senior front row, no changes up there, or no major surprises in that order. The Minis actually had a bit of a shake-up possibly for their order though. The Minis taking a look at what happened in the pre-final. Both Stowers actually received a 3-second penalty for blocking in that race. That'll be a talking point when we get there, Taylor. Does that mean Stowers ended up getting pushed in the end exactly to 4th position, out from the win, and Anastasio got the pre-final win instead in the Minis. Here comes the Carapolettis, meanwhile on circuit battling. Coming to 2 to go. Kim is up to 2nd.
Kim gets that spot away, and it looks to try to chase down, see what he can do in these final 2 laps. 1.6 seconds is the difference. They're still about 2/10 off the pace, though, compared to Grant Estes. So they got a little bit of work to do if they want to try anything, but it might be too little, too late.
Coming up to 1 lap to go. Estes sailing away. The battle between the Carapolettis not done. Here comes Scott. Scott Carapoletti jumps up and hits the bumps. Loses the spot back to Kim. Final time around.
Great fight between the Carapolettis here as they put on a show here for the final time. Around the corner, they will go into the bowl for the last time here at the North Florida Kart Club for your KA Masters. And as they do so, they're going to fight it out once again. Kim's going to go to the bottom. Scott's going to go even lower, and they'll drag race into the final turn.
Coming on through on the send. Up into 2nd goes Scott. It's Brant Estes who gets it done up in the front. Estes celebrate a win. Scott Carapoletti over Kim Carapoletti is the distance for the KA Masters. So Estes able to put together a good recovery and an even better runaway after that here, Taylor. Let's get some a top step on the podium unofficially.
Great run for him as Brent Estes, your race winner here in the KA Masters. Carapolettis, hopefully we'll see them at Atlanta Motorsports Park here in a little bit of time and have some fun there to wrap up the South Division season for the Apex Karting Championship.
Get ready racing for the day. These drivers will hopefully give you what is going to be a quick turnaround. We'll take a break. When we come back, that turnaround, we'll see karts on the track.
Stuck with your kart racing? Not sure the ideal kart setup? Or going to a track for the first time? Well, Kart Class has the answers for you. Our online portal has a wealth of experience and knowledge to help your kart racing. From kart setup advice to track guides that are targeted specifically to your circuit, or the driver coaching aspect with mindset, racecraft and driving techniques. If you want to take your karting to the next level, visit us at kartclass.com.
Hi, I'm Jackson with Alpha Race Hub. Alpha is an all-in-one motorsports software solution that can solve all the software problems you need for your track, facility, or series. Alpha can cover all your software bases, from online registration, digital e-waivers, a proprietary timing and scoring software, incident management, automated points tabulation, tire and barcode scanning. We even have our own mobile timing app and rental kart activity management software. If you're looking to consolidate your motorsports software solutions, reach out to us at alphatiming.co.uk.
Here we go, our next track, our next grouping of cars are on track, should say, as it's the IAME Micros. Height, Knives, Oinez, Cheney, Pridemore are the carts here, Taylor, as 231 and 223 are ready for another edition of Let's Battle for the Lead.
Absolutely. Spencer Height looking to sweep the action this weekend once again, looking to go back-to-back as well here in your micro division. It's going to be an exciting one as they enter the trend line. Matic Knives, though, pretty sure he has been taking notes all weekend long to see if he... Oh, a little bit of a slide right there from Spencer Height as he's trying to warm the tires. But still going to be a good fight between these two here tonight as they head down into the tram line.
See how aggressive the battle plays out this time. Remember, Knives had the pace last race, but then went for a dive into the mini bowl section through turn 3, spun it around, and that put him into second firmly in the micros. Here we go. Off and away. Height gets a good launch. Knives in second already. And the battle for third sees things solidify pretty quickly. Outside line actually worked better for Cheney.
Great racing action amongst the field of drivers here as we watch these two go at it once again. Height and Knives having a good fight as they come down the back straightaway. So far, it's going to be a good fight as Knives is thinking about it. Height stretched that lead out ahead of Maddox Knives.
They rumble as Height. Remember, it took a few laps before in some of the battling today with the cold track conditions. Things to heat up. Knives this time taking a little bit more time. Actually slid around a little bit coming into the bowl section. Lost a little bit of ground with the rear tire slide. Had to really correct the wheel, it seemed. As now, the gap will try and be chipped away significantly here. Cheney over Vletas currently maintains what is a few tenths of a second gap, by the way, for that third spot. It's going to be a battle to watch for the rest of the way here as there's a look at third and fourth.
Cheney going to hold on for the time being ahead of Valdez as we watch on them as Maddox Knives has been dropping purple lap time after purple lap time here. A 39.99 for him as he tries to keep that gap within striking distance of Spencer Height.
Time by time builds up there as we take a look around our track. Looks like Vletas able to move on by the green helmeted machine. Able to jump up to P3, take the spot away. New fast lap, by the way, by the 223. Comes on the push. Last time through was half a tenth quicker than Height. Looking very feisty here. Now trying to take some wider angles to get some better boost on exit maybe.
Good run out of the bowl right here for Knives as he tries to see if he can close that gap and slingshot past his competitor, and he will do so to the inside. Spencer Height does not fight the issue, just lets him go, settles back in, and continues on with his way as he moves back to second.
Here comes the battle back, though. Height dives in, takes it away in the mini bowl area. Able to really jump up again on the path. Back and forth we go. We continue to shuffle. This dance expected to last for a while with lots of opportunities for passes. And remember, when it comes to the big picture of the championship itself, those wanting to keep an eye on that one, Height right now trying to maintain the advantage since he was the only driver that appeared in the micros last time out. That being said here, it could go to anybody else when it comes to the regional side. He's been kept very active with Knives moving up into this kart in the last week.
And Maddox Knives is giving him a run for his money. Spencer has been dominating this class, but the thing is, Knives has been right there to work with him and tried to make it a little difficult, testing the limits of Spencer Height as they head back down into the final couple of corners here. Really exciting battle. Knives try to go around the outside to set up a pass with some momentum. Not going to work out for him.
Rumble. Once again, Height up the front. Good year for Spencer Height as we've seen last year. Maintained it into this year once again with the speed. Been around for a little while, competed originally in Cup Karts North America as the inaugural champion of the Kid Karts the Northeast. Since then, he's raced everywhere across the nation. Now he's in a big-time dogfight between him and Knives, back and forth, 6 minutes to go.
A little bit of situation right here amongst the top two. Big fall off right there for Spencer Height, a 40-12 to a 39-68. Spencer starting to reel him back in, but that's going to be a little concerning here as he looks to the inside, tries to get himself going, takes the spot away with that power around the inside to take back the lead. Meanwhile, Valdez and Cheney, it's still those two battling it out for the third spot. Valdez has enough room, about 7/10 of a second right now over Cheney.
All gaps really separate except for the race lead here as we've gone, Taylor. The big thing about this track overall characteristically, you can see these breakaways. That was the main thing was told originally coming into the CKA Grand Nationals competition. We've kind of seen it really exemplified here today, where the best of the best karts on raw speed long run will get the advantage by a tenth to a few tenths a lap, and that is massive over the course of these races with how quick the laps themselves are.
Certainly is here as we watch on and see what these two will try to negotiate through the circuit once again. We have reached just a little bit past halfway of this race. Knives trying to find his way with that slipstream down the back straightaway, or will he stay put and try to just at least wait a little bit? Meanwhile, Cheney tries to get around Luca Valadez down the back straightaway.
Looking to see what happens back there, but the leaders, the signal of 4 minutes to work with. Right now, being distantly pretty solid. Valadez, by the way, he gained a little bit with Cheney last time by, so the leaders are starting to slow down a touch bit here, but it's not enough to, of course, be a rapid game up on the circuit. Here comes Knives, going for the lead, takes it away into 8.
I got to give credit to Knives and Spencer Height this entire weekend. Just the hard racing that they have been doing with each other, as well as the respect that they have as well. Really not getting argy-bargy, just giving room to each other, letting each other race, work on their racecraft, and it's been incredible all weekend long to watch these two battle it out in both the Brit and IAME categories.
Here we go again. Another block. Height now up front again. Height trying to play defense. 3 minutes to work with. By the way, Knives set the fastest lap out of the race last time through. A 39.6 to originally get the last lead lap. That's how big the pole has been getting. We'll reference that last time. We lost on the net ground and immediately went to the 40.3s as a result of that battle side by side. Just the ups and flows of a race, so to speak, Taylor. You set the fast lap when you're flying with the push of the draft. Then when you start to scrap it out, you have problems. Here's the block time.
Nothing really happening there. Height was able to keep ahead, and Knives just could not get a good enough run down the back straightaway that time by. So it's starting to come back into the favor of Spencer Height. And let's see if that Kart has found a little extra.
Under 2 minutes to work with here in this race. Now, we got the question. Does Height now maintain up in front? No mistakes this time for Knives. Looks like they do have race traffic. Pridemore's up there. I don't know if that will be a factor or not for this fight. We've seen traffic play a factor once or twice this entire weekend. Today,
I think they've given him the black flag.
Yes, you are right. They just gave him the black flag, so that's not going to be an issue at all. So, here we go. The race lead, though, going to be possibly 3 minutes to go when they get around this time through. Height hugs the inside again as the winds pick up.
Big run. Height knows the time is near, and it's time to continue to start throwing these blocks and making sure that Knives does not get around him here in these closing moments as they work their way across the line. Height still setting a decent pace, but Maddox Knives also right there running a similar pace as well to stay within those tire tracks.
To go next time through, potentially. Keep an eye on that clock as we'll see where we get on the lap count. Height continues to hug the inside. Knives continues to try and set something up. This time not close enough to be able to peek even to the outside there. This might actually be 3 to go, yes, because we did get a few seconds extra on the clock here. Can't confirm. There's the measurement on the distance. Coming to 2 laps to go this time. Knives have to set it up.
It's going to be close. It's now or never for Maddox Knives. He's got to dig deep. He's got to be ready to try and go on the attack on this back straightaway. Let's see what he does as he tries to do so. Spencer Height will hug that white line as best that he can to make Maddox go around the outside. Here they come into the braking zone. Does he send it? He'll go to the outside to see if he can over-under.
Here they go. Coming up now to 2 to go. Knives needs to get there. He's trying to chip away fast. Pokes up high side. Trying to use a wider line to try and find a way to close. Try something different. Height still maintaining his lower grooves going through the technical sections. Lap and a half to go. He maintains the Kart half advantage.
Here they come down into there, and Maddox tries to go once again on the outside. Not able to do so, though. It is just going to be critical for what Maddox Knives can do on this final lap. Here they come. White flag in the air. It's now going to be determined what we will do. Spencer is going to white line as much as he can around this circuit.
Not wanting to allow any run for Knives. Here we go. Coming on through. Knives takes a slider angle again. They work their way to the bull section. Up and through to the back straightaway. Height hugs the inside. Knives not close enough. He's not closing really enough at all. Spencer Height, all weekend long, looks strong in the micro. He'll come his way to the final corner. It's Spencer Height who gets it done.
How about that back-to-back sweeps the weekend? Incredible drive by both Spencer Height and Maddox Knives. Give him a round of applause. Definitely an incredible drive for him as well this weekend. Looking forward to seeing him wrap up the rest of the season, hopefully at AMP.
So Height gets the win and gets to celebrate. He's already drifting in celebration down the back straight away. It's Knives, followed by Veladez, Jamie, Pridemore. All the rest of the drivers, Pridemore, as mentioned, black flag, did not finish out the race. So 5 started, 4 finished. And in the end, it's the 231 unofficially that gets themselves the micro win. Has to fight off the 223 to do it. So as these drivers prepare, our next grouping of drivers getting ready to come on up here, Taylor. We're getting the seniors up next pretty soon.
We certainly are. They are next up on the docket, and it's going to be a fight for the finish between McKeithen and Perez. Don't forget Henry Wheeler as well.
So those preparations underway for those drivers to be able to get rolling here with the quick turnaround expected. 15 competitors entered in the seniors. We had 12 start in the pre-final. We'll take a break. You're watching Kart Chaser here from Jacksonville.
Gee, looks like we're missing the engine. What the hell am I supposed to tag?
What do you mean? It's my Greyhound. It's all I need.
Where's the rest of it?
It doesn't matter. It's a Greyhound.
You gotta make weight. Okay, you're good.
Sitting by here with Kyle, our race winner. Tell me how you did it. You were blazing fast out there, and I mean, you don't even have a go-kart, man. Tell me about it.
Yeah, you know, Norberg, Schmorberg, the Greyhound-powered Greyhound was great today. You know, it makes the difference. And the team's been working really hard back at the shop, and, you know, just shout out Greyhound.
Thank you, Kyle. How the f did you just win?
Doesn't matter. It's a Greyhound.
Cool features that Race Studio 3 has that people normally...
Welcome back, everyone, to today's coverage of Apex Karting Championships. KA Seniors on the track. Taylor, I believe you have those starters ready to go.
Absolutely. It's going to be Christian McKeithen and Daniel Perez on the front row with Henry Wheeler and Levi Getz in row 2, Anthony Lewis, Austin Thompson in row 3, Connor Corsi and Alex Siculio in row 4, Indy Casey and Thomas Schreck in row 5, Aiden Lieber and Sawyer Roussel round out your 12-card field.
So top to bottom of the order as some of the drivers at the very end, like Roussel, warm up the tires because they're going to have to get on and giddy up to the pack. 11 minutes plus 2 laps up on the board. Outside, Perez got a much better start. The inside didn't go at all. McKeithen getting passed by a couple, and all of a sudden, McKeithen's down to 3rd and Wheeler's all over the back of Perez.
The question is going to be, what can Henry Wheeler do as we watch one cart go around over there at the entrance of the mini bowl as they continue on their way. That looks like to be Sherrick who had some problems as Perez starts to stretch out that race lead coming down the backstretch.
Making the way on through. Here comes the draft effect. McKeithen deep for second. Crossover Wheeler. And a lot of drivers have to be able to plant it early apex to be able to complete that movement. He did not. He still gets it though in turn 3.
leaving these three drivers to fend for themselves as Perez realizes I have a shot to finally go back-to-back in finals events this week. And he is trying to do so here, but here comes McKeithen with help from Wheeler and Jet. McKeithen takes over the lead.
Continuing on. It's the scrap you expect to see, especially without close to cut. All the junior drivers have been here. Long run towards one of the record speed. However, this short to mid-run can be anybody's race here, Taylor. It's so hard to separate yourself in this.
Absolutely, as we watch these drivers, McKeithen looks over the shoulder to see where Henry Wheeler is. Perez thinking about it, making some adjustment to the carburetor. They thought about trying to school him a little bit right there. Not going to work out for him. McKeithen maintains the lead as Corsi and Zaculia trying to hunt down Levi Getz.
In the field so far in this one. Keep an eye on the 906 on your timing screens. But as we make our way down the back straightaway, the leaders stay well in sync here. Nobody willing to push the tempo. We know Perez likes to wait until the final 4 minutes, give or take, to really attack and let out change the bit in the front here. So it's going to be a waiting game if you're the Oregon White Card.
Patience is going to be critical right here for Perez if he wants to have the chance to go back-to-back this weekend and have the chance of winning here in Jacksonville as they head down the back straightaway. McKeithen has been working very hard this weekend in that Coyote to try it as we work our way through further. Back some more passing for position. Looks like one of the Sodi machines picking up a spot. That looks like to be Lewis moving up into 6.
Here comes the step for Perez all of a sudden. They feel that comfortable in the third spot on the side. The walk. Start up after that shuffle. So with McKeithen back up to the race lead after an initial drop kick to third. Now, Wheeler has to push hard. You can see him already trying to get lower down Taylor, try and fix the aerodynamics to gain more straight line speed as some of the others battle in Pack 2.
Dropping back significantly as here comes Perez back onto the bumper of McKeithen as he tries to see what he can do. Not able to do anything just yet, but now losing a little bit of time. It seems like that part stalled out a little bit off the exit of the mini bowl.
So what do you do to fix that to make sure you don't stall out like that?
Continue to make adjustments on that carburetor, and I have to say, plus also where he placed the cart on the track off corner exit, but he was able to get help from the health of the draft to close back up as they come out of the final corner and cross the line halfway through this race. Perez is back where he was, but now he's got to find a way to keep that momentum up and find his way back around the team.
Now the pace, 38.5s for the leaders, 36s for everybody else in this field. Roussel, by the way, staying in the 7th spot, checking back over towards him. See him on his attempt to recover right now. He's right now ahead of Thompson, Lieber, amongst those drivers back there. Able to get ahead in that pack. Roussel also got ahead of Corsi that previous lap. But Bernardo Kicks. Outside of your leaders is arguably the fastest car, in fact, the second fastest on the track. He's been running on average around the 36 ones on his charge while passing. Looks like the carburetor is being adjusted by Perez again. Perez continuing to work at it.
He has just been hard at work trying to make adjustments, trying to find a way to pass McKeithen when he's in front, trying to figure out a way to block McKeithen as well as make adjustments to that carburetor. Very busy afternoon.
Field and how rich the fuel burn is, fuel mix should say. It's all about trying to make those minor corrections to make sure you maximize the speed here at the right time. It's almost Perez time, but Getz has gotten up to Wheeler's pack. Roussel seems to have hit a brick wall on his ascension meanwhile. He just fell off by another 10. Problem is, 36-2s, plateaus him with everybody else around him. The brick wall now for the 906.
Like Enzo picked up the pace quite a bit as well. He just set his personal best of the race and trying to close back in. He is now about 0.4 of a second behind Henry Wheeler as both of McKeithen and Perez making more adjustments to the carburetor. Here comes Getz to the back bumper of Wheeler.
Send up the inside. Swap around. What's the entry up to the spot? Check it in without things are going at the head of one now at 2. Getz is right there. The lead by Getz on the close up 40s. Ransom chooses as well. Actually popped a 35.9. That got him within the distance of Wheeler. So the effort's absolutely been there. Getz, compared to Wheeler's pace, much quicker. Wheeler has stayed in the 36.3s to 5 for the past 5-6 laps.
Certainly has been able to do that and have some very consistent lap times, similar to what Henry Wheeler's been running, and that's what's helping them wheeling back in and have a shot at the podium here. Really impressive drive by Levi Getz.
Yes, indeed. Has a chance for the podium if he's able to set up a pass the right moment here without costing too much time. Especially Lewis right now on the close. Lewis for reference. The 1 is 2/10 quicker than those 2 in front of him. So all the faster cars are starting to converge with the long run speed as we are into the home stretch. Fastest laps are still by your top 2 by 2/10 of a lap, by the way. They're in the 35, 7th, and 8th at the moment. Those 2 are absolutely flying out there.
They really are. They have definitely have their kart set up for that long run pace, and they are showing it here. Wheeler and Getz, you notice Getz isn't really charging to get around Henry Wheeler. He knows that those 2 can try something, and maybe if McKeithen and Perez start battling for the race lead, have a chance to go and take that race lead away from those 2.
The charge plays out up front. Perez not making a move yet still holding on to the carburetor. Nothing doing for Wheeler and Getz. Roussel, he's going to be doing something. He wants a spot. He takes it up the inside to get up to the top 5. So the recovery drive is up to a +7 from Roussel after a slide in the pre-final. Roussel continuing to pick them off. If he gets a little help, maybe, just maybe, there's a chance at the podium with a lap chance, but it requires a lot of pushing right now.
It's about 1.5 seconds right now between himself and Levi Getz, so it's going to be a lot of work, but could be doable depending on how things go. You've got to throw in the fact that there's going to be other drivers hungry for a chance of at least a top 5 finish, like we see right now by Thompson, who gets back around him.
Not done. Thompson doesn't get in front. That would have cost Roussel a chance for the podium right then and there. Coming up to the final stretch. Likely going to be 3 to go. Might be 3. Have to stop saying likely because that's how quickly these drivers are flying here, Taylor. Going to be closed on the stopwatch. Only 7 seconds was on that board, but they even caught the strike there. Here we go.
Back to Roussel and company as they try to work their way through. But how about Thompson, who is really putting on a stellar drive here inside the top 5, picking up a couple of spots after starting 7th. As we see Perez back at it once again, making adjustments. They're going to come around. It's going to be 3 laps to go for your leaders as there you see Perez just giving it everything he's got as the countdown begins to see who will be the winner. Down take over the race lead.
There's the move indeed, with about 2 seconds the board. Laps is now showing on the time beacon. Now, let's find out if Perez can pull away. Can McKeithen get himself the draft back? Perez adjusts the carburetor, goes for the block, goes down low, hugs the inside. McKeithen on the high side, tries to make it stick, hits the bump, out of turn 8, forced to reset. 2 laps to go, McKeithen on the charge.
McKeithen now has a couple of things up his sleeve. I have a feeling that he looks around to try to find that opening he needs. He's going to try and work his way up, build that momentum to set up for the back straightaway. We've seen some amazing passes going into the final corners here off the back straightaway. I have a feeling McKeithen may try something here. Perez looks over the shoulder, ready to throw the block. Oh, big time send to the bottom. They make contact down into the turn. McKeithen takes over the lead.
Contact sends out McKeithen on forward, but it's not done yet. Perez side by side, white flag, final time around, going to the mini ball. Perez,
Perez in the back.
And the slide off the gas, and McKeithen now pulls ahead to the ball tailor.
That could be enough right there, possibly for McKeithen, but Perez is going to try to bear down and come on him right here as they work their way back into the final corner. Here comes McKeithen with a little check over the shoulder. Perez is barreling down on him into the final time. McKeithen has enough breathing room. Perez trying to go a little bit over the outside to build some momentum. Drag race to the line. It is McKeithen and the Coyotes with the win.
Christopher McKeithen is able to withstand the pressure and came down to elbows and back and forth to get the win. Some troubles for the 9:30 for him. Thompson on the final lap. We'll see Thompson lose the chance for a top 5. But by all line, able to get the in. What a finish here on Kart Chaser. Wheeler, Lewis in the top 5. Rizal, Labor, Sharon, Corky, Pachuco in the top 10. Austin Thompson fell out of the top 10 again. Finished off with the 12th position here today. On the road to Football in Steiner. Let's take a break. You're watching Kart Chaser here from Jacksonville.
Race 3 has that people normally don't know about it. The track map on the background. So if you just connect your computer to the internet, you can come up here and click on this Google Earth icon, and it will pull the background from the Google Earth into your GPS data.
If you want to learn more about data analysis, you can sign up on our website right now. Enjoy the online course today.
Are you ready to get behind the wheel? From Formula One to NASCAR and IndyCar, all the pros start here. For more information, check us out online at mcckarting.com or call us and go racing today.
Kart Zone is officially open. We're America's first true karting dealership, built by racers, for racers. From your first chassis to managing a full team, our experts guide you every step of the way. At Kart Zone, you'll find top-tier products from your most trusted brands. We believe in performance without compromise. Your karting journey starts here. Visit kartzonena.com.
Cool features that Race Studio 3 has that people normally don't know about it. If you look on the bottom left, I have the weather showing my ambient temperature, pressure, humidity, and even the wind direction and wind speed. To be able to get this, you gotta create an account on the AIM website and just log in. If you log in and have internet on, it will pull the weather from the previous year of sessions that you have.
If you want to learn more about data analysis, you can sign up on our website right now. Enjoy the online course today.
champions aren't just born on the kart track. At SimShop, we deliver professional-grade simulators with the best performance-to-price ratio in the industry. Founded by racers who understand what you need, our SimMagic and Moza equipment is powerful enough for the pros, yet affordable for everyone. With unmatched customer support and a thriving community, we're your racing partner. Visit simshop.com today.
Are you looking to take the next step in your racing journey? Well, look no further than PitFit.
With 2 locations in Charlotte, North Carolina, and Indianapolis, Indiana, PitFit trains drivers all the way from grassroots level karting to IndyCar and NASCAR, with top-of-the-line personalized coaching to improve physical and cognitive fitness.
For more information on programs, check out PitFit on Instagram or Facebook today.
So in motorsport, every detail matters, but we need to try to avoid using expensive and fragile sensors. So I'm gonna show you how we do it. So this is a comparison between the sensor, pink curve, and the accelerometer in blue. So we can read how hard the driver is applying the brake and how easy he's modulating his release in order to understand how the driver is braking. The sensor costs hundreds of dollars and the accelerometer is already in your dash, so you don't need to buy anything.
If you want to learn more about data analysis, you can sign up on our website right now and join the online course today.
This is Henry. Henry feels sad. Henry feels sad because it's time for his next big race and his go-kart is in bits. Henry doesn't know that Acceleration Kart Racing is the United States' #1 shop for all of your karting equipment needs. Henry also doesn't know that Acceleration Kart Racing can deliver anything from tires to race suits and even wheels directly to your front door or to the racetrack itself quickly and efficiently, with tech support available 6 days a week. Poor Henry doesn't even know that Acceleration Kart Racing offers free shipping to mainland USA on selected product if you spend $200 or more. Do yourself a favor. Go to accelerationkarting.com and make sure that you are never left stuck on the pre-grid with Henry. Be smart and don't be like Henry.
One thing that is really nice about the Micron 6 is with this new IAME platform, now they put an embedded channel with the steering wheel angle. This channel is really nice to use if you're trying to understand how the drivers are behaving through the corners, if it's oversteering, understeering. But you need to be careful. Because we're measuring this at 100 times per second, when you look on the data, it's very, very noisy. So when you look on the data, we have here the steering wheel angle raw output in blue, and then we have to apply a filter to treat this data, and then that's the filter in red.
If you want to learn more about data analysis, you can sign up on our website right now and join the online course today.
The 2026 Cup Kart South Series, February 20th through 22nd at Finish Line Karting, March 20th through 22nd at Daytona International Speedway, April 24th through 26th at Music City Karting, and May 29th through 31st at Bushnell Motorsports Park.
Cat food marketing. $9.99 a month.
Dude, Caleb, wake up. Dude, we're live in 5 minutes. Let's go. Come on. What are you doing?
Dude, I'm so sorry. Xander had me in a cat food marketing meeting till like 2 a.m. last night.
Come on, man.
Do you have anything I can drink?
Dude, I got the perfect thing for you. Perico. It's a healthy energy drink alternative.
Perico? Non-GMO? Gluten-free? Kosher? Magnesium? B12? B6?
Yeah, it's good.
B5? Biotin? And 0 sugar? Pericazo! Try Perico, made with natural ingredients, organic caffeine, and supports your metabolism. Try the new official energy drink of Kart Chaser.
We all know that drivers, they learn faster when it's visually shown to them side by side what's the difference, right? So with the Smarty Cam, every time we put on the data, we're able to see the drivers side by side on the track. So here, for example, you can see that Diego is taking a curb and our other driver's not. You see that one driver's oversteering and the other driver's pretty much straight coming out of the corner. By showing this to them, they're able to absorb faster. And you can even play the videos simultaneously so they can see how they're performing through the track.
If you want to learn more about data analysis, you can sign up on our website right now. Enjoy the online course today.
Are you stuck with your kart racing? Not sure the ideal kart setup? Or going to a track for the first time? Well, Kart Class has the answers for you. Our online portal has a wealth of experience and knowledge to help your kart racing. From kart setup advice to track guides that are targeted specifically to your circuit, or the driver coaching aspect with mindset, racecraft and driving techniques. If you want to take your karting to the next level, visit us at kartclass.com.
Hi, I'm Jackson with Alpha Race Hub. Alpha is an all-in-one motorsports software solution that can solve all the software problems you need for your track, facility, or series. Alpha can cover all your software bases, from online registration, digital e-waivers, a proprietary timing and scoring software, incident management, automated points tabulation, tire and barcode scanning. We even have our own mobile timing app and rental kart activity management software. If you're looking to consolidate your motorsports software solutions, reach out to us at alphatiming.co.uk.
Gee, looks like we're missing an engine. What the hell am I supposed to tag?
What do you mean? It's my Greyhound. It's all I need.
Where's the rest of it?
It doesn't matter. It's a Greyhound.
You gotta make weight. Okay, you're good.
Sitting by here with Kyle, our race winner. Tell me how you did it. You were blazing fast out there, and I mean, you don't even have a go-kart, man. Tell me about it.
Yeah, you know, Norberg, Schmorberg, the Greyhound-powered Greyhound was great today. You know, it makes the difference. And the team's been working really hard back at the shop, and, you know, just shout out Greyhound.
Thank you, Kyle.
How the f did you just win?
Doesn't matter. It's a Greyhound.
Cool features that Race Studio 3 has that people normally don't know about it. The track map on the background. So if you just connect your computer to the internet, you can come up here and click on this Google Earth icon, and it will pull the background from the Google Earth into your GPS data.
If you want to learn more about data analysis,
Karts are on the racetrack here today. The action has been pretty stout. It's been competitive, and this is going to get wild because remember we talked about this earlier, Taylor. Many data penalties. Stowers is not going to be your leader. He did not get the win in the pre-final officially because of a blocking penalty. Ryan gets to start in front with Enstuncio. Enstuncio, in fact, is the one who got the win in the last race, Taylor.
It certainly is. That's going to change up things, and we'll see what Stowers can do here in these next 11 minutes as these drivers get set for the final push here today. This is the time where you got to dig deep, find that little extra to have what it takes to be on the top step of the podium.
Enstuncio lie up the front row, leading off this pack. Also in the field, Greer, Stowers, Hall, Martinenko. As we're underway, 6 karts ready to do battle. They make their way to the finish line. Enstuncio starts in front. Greer looks to start with a dive. Greer gets crossed back up, and Enstuncio takes it away, but it sets up Stowers to immediately jump to second.
Well, Stowers didn't have to do a whole lot of work, just follow through and stay around to have the chance to now go for the race lead as they head down the back straightaway, side by side, and he will take it over as Anastasio will try to go a little lower. Stowers throws the block.
continuing to try and pull haymakers to hold off the crowd. Now, Stowers up at the point. It only took him about a lap to go from fourth to first. Now he looks to run away, and Anastasio and Ryan were so full, remember, in the last race. Greer, we're getting keep steady with these drivers. Remember, it took some time for Greer to get up to speed also.
It did take a little time for Greer, but the question is going to be how much time does he have to get around Anastasio and Hank Lyle to then chase down Stowers? That's going to be the question for him as he now has to make quick work. To the bottom of the racetrack goes Lyle to get around Anastasio. Could not make it work, unfortunately, but he is putting the pressure on as here comes Greer down to the back bumper of Lyle.
Back and forth they go. More aggression pops up. 9 minutes coming up to go on the board. Sounds like a journey with these cars already. You're talking double-digit laps as per usual. You're 15, 16 laps, give or take. Here comes Litho. Immediately wants to spot. Anastasio crowding. These drivers are not backing down. They're focused more on second than they are on closing. Remember, they have to keep within a second of Stowers to maintaining the tone. Time through, believe they've lost touch. Just about.
Anastasio has caught up back up to the back bumper here as now they work their way around as Greer starting to lose a little bit more time. Hank is doing everything he can to keep pace with Anastasio, and Stowers, well, he's starting to pull away a little bit more, setting the pace. Another fast lap around the circuit for him as they come to complete the third lap on the board. A little bump right there from Anastasio to the back bumper of Hank. Across the line, and Ruben Greer trying to kick in the afterburners.
What did I say about coming out better on the run? Greer to get up to speed with the Tucker. Just at the next lap, 38.423. Everyone else was in here. The 5 to Brian Anastasio, or Stowers in the 7s. Now, the interesting thing will be, Taylor, what do you think the crew would have adjusted on Stowers' kart? The Dawsonville, Georgia-based driver did get reeled in before after dominating speed in the short runs in the heats yesterday. What do you think they would have adjusted to get that speed back here in the corner?
It'll be a little interesting to see how this plays out, and plus it also doesn't help someone like Greer, who is stuck behind 2 other competitors. It's not like he has clean track. He's getting a little bit of dirty air as well. He tries to find his way around these 2 competitors. Coming out of the bowl, they'll head down the back straightaway. The gap between themselves and your race leader is 1.1 seconds. Got a lot of work to do, but they got to quit battling as much as they are, or they will lose more time to Stowers.
To work with. Here comes Greer. Greer took a small peek. Not able to get into stage though. Gone through. Fastest car on the racetrack was Anastasio, by the way. Now with by a few 1,000s though, that tells where the margins are. Will they try and go for a pass, or will they just try and push to maintain the 1 second? They're 1.2-ish back. Looks like Anastasio carried all the momentum to the bumper. Staying in sync like that's so helpful, Taylor, to be able to close out. It's not what you want to do per se as the driver, but it worked. They got back within a second.
They certainly did get them back there, and it's going to be a little bit more time, but they got to keep going at it. You got to make sure you don't give up. You still have plenty of time to work with. You know that you guys, all 3 of you combined, can be faster than what Stowers is running, and it shows it in the time charts as they start to close in closer and closer to the back bumper of Bo Stowers.
Slow close in can set up the big close in, that can set up the big chances to be able to bounce for the spots. Small close by about half a tenth this time. Was nearly a 10th with the overall, depending on the last time by. Ruben Greer, again, just trying to keep in touch. Oh, by the way, I've pulled away from Marty Nico. Marty Yaneko, who had the issues in the last time through with some spins, able to at least keep within about a second and a half of Hall or so in the background. Let's see what the margin is this time. Coming up to 5 minutes to go. This time through. Stellar in. There goes the interval back the wrong way. Anastasio needs to get to the bumper fly if they want to keep this up, but they're losing touch now to the blue card.
Yeah, that's not a good look right now. They've got to start getting a little more tightly compact, utilizing the draft, not trying different lines, be in sync with each other to really help out each other and try to make the charge to both towers. That's going to be so important here in this final few laps of the race.
They work with down. So at least they're back to the pushing game. But this is almost going back to Daytona conversation, but it feels like the wrong package for that. I mean, with Daytona, when you're driving together, Taylor, it's almost with, say, the Cup Car model on the virtual sim with iRacing. You're talking about sometimes you can close up and work together as a group to close up a few tenths. Sometimes, if you aren't synced up, you lose a few tenths. I think we're kind of seeing that right now.
I have to agree with you on that there. And there you see the official crew members giving the signals like, hey, you're losing the gap to the leader. You need to start working together a little bit more closely. Otherwise, Stowers is going to continue to grow that race lead. They picked up a little bit of time, about half a tenth, but still not enough. They have to pick up multiple tenths if they want to have a shot of catching up to Stowers. And right now, just as I say that, here comes Anastasio to the inside of Hank Lyle. That's going to cost them some valuable time as they come through. Move Anastasio up to second.
Anastasio up to the second spot, coming to 3 minutes to work with. There's the gap projections. 1.4 up. Now is Stellar. The Jacksonville-based driver continues to grow things in front. And remember, Jacksonville, Georgia, where AMP is located. If you look at the map, chance for a hometown strong run if Stowers can keep this momentum up from this week.
See what the gap is now. Maybe the reason why Anastasio Bobby is getting in front of the line is because the main speed has been a little bit faster than Hank here. We'll see what the gap is.
Two minutes to go. 2 minutes to work with on the clock here on the minis. Nobody willing to shuffle now that Anastasio's the lead car in amongst that other pack. Lai stays on the bumper for every straightaway. Another 10th loss. At this point, it's Stowers' race to lose. With the way things are going here, Lai continues to be the middle car, loses ground. Does Greer force the issue now, Taylor?
If I was Greer, I would now start considering I need to get to second place. So now is the time to start working his way up there, getting those passes done quickly, and see what you can do to get some valuable points and stop the bleeding that Coach Stowers is going to be causing for you in this championship.
The shuffle once again. Bottom minute. Pulls forward. Line now up in the second spot with the shuffle. Will this continue as they make their way to the backstretch? Lai goes hard to the inside, covers off the inside groove, and Anastasio stays on the bumper. Greer losing ground. Couple minutes to go, total with all the laps. Right now, Anastasio working over a reset with Lai, now building another bumper. Greer looks left and right.
going past that race and live and try to shot for us both of us on the podium. But that was a little bit of more of an open door for himself type situation.
Here we go. 2 laps to work with up on the board. Second step on the podium, and it's Jacksonville and Greer looking to try and jump up some steps. The run through to the back straight away. Once again, straight left goes line. Here comes Anastasio to the outside. Greer willing to work with him. Anastasio gonna have to hope this sticks up here. Diamonds the corner, takes away the inside. Up to second goes Anastasio for the white flag. To the final stretch. Dowers has put on a clinic today to be able to run away from the pack. It took speed, it took precision, and in the end, it's Most Dowers that comes to the final corner. Most Dowers will chip away lots and lots of points for the championship lead today. 3 wide for second. Greer is able to recover a boatload of points at the line. Close. The strike. Dowers gets it done. 5 seconds is the winning margin, by the way, but look at how tight it was. About under a 10th and a half for Greer, Anastasio, and Lai. They all finish about 3 wide Taylor in the very end for a podium spot.
Absolutely incredible racing there. Great drive for Ruben Greer. Anastasio happy for his run there, for being one of the TSRS drivers. And what? We wish him a great run for him. Looking forward to seeing what he can do at AMT in a few months.
Wild run, a wild race, and it sets us up for a potentially wild end of the day coming up here on Kart Chaser. As these drivers prepare, one more event to go, Taylor. The juniors, they're quickly getting to work. Look at them in the background. This is your final race of the day, and this is the quickest turnaround out of the entire day. Already some spins. That's not what you want to start things off, but Cameron Johnson brings directly. For Nyberg, we're in the top 3. Colin Green, Ty Mars, Sean Portnoy, Farmfield, Tim Kumar, top 10. Frazier and Colombo, Bryson, Nia Petyen are the rest of your starters today. They'll all warm up the tires. That spin, believe, was indeed Johnson, though, which is critical.
Not a good situation there for Cameron Johnson. You've got Siraki right there as well, but still, that's great.
You should pick to win this one because there's a lot of ways to go here, Taylor.
I know, and this is going to be difficult. I like Siraki. I like Cameron Johnson. But you know what? I'm going to go with a sneaky little driver. He's starting up towards the field. I'm going to go with Sean Portnoy in 3rd place. With that trouble already happening here on the opening laps, multiple cars going around. Jack Bryson was, as well as more cars struggling. That was Siraki who goes into the back. That allows Oliver Nyberg to take the
They rumble the way through after a wild start. they come down to the back straightaway. Nyberg tries to hold off the crowd. Johnson immediately trying to pick up as many spots as possible. Here they go on the outside. Soraki trying to go for Sins. Trying to sort themselves as quick as possible here. But the top four broken away. You have Martin Green teammates. You have Saraki and Nyberg not teammates. Saraki outside, easily said and done. Brandon Saraki to the race lead on his dig. So Saraki, somebody to keep an eye on here the rest of the day. We've seen him be competitive all the way from Wisconsin. Is the travel. Has Legends car experience. Actually raced there a few weeks ago with Charlotte Motor Speedway.
Rocky, really great run right here as he works his way through, holding on to the race lead. Kai Mars, Bowling Green, those two cop cars. Here he goes with Oliver Nyberg to get around through the race lead. And Nyberg and Mars take over the top spot.
Trying to dig, push, and try and do all those sort of things right now as they go. So where do you see the play coming? Johnson has recovered very well from the spin on the warm-up lap, Taylor. He's in the lead pack in fifth and is the fastest kart here.
He certainly is, and he is barreling down on your race leaders very quickly. As here comes Bowling Green to the inside. He will try to get around Kai Mars and find his way to the back bumper.
Nicely done once again. But now, you have to see how Nyberg plays this, because Nyberg all weekend long has been in the conversation, but hasn't been able to get the true edge in any of these races. In the last race, it was Eswick and Berklow that were with the penalties, but Nyberg last time was left out to dry with teammates. Him and Saraki, now that it's no longer, for now, not teammate to teammate, duking it on out as hard as possible here. Saraki's up front for now. Nyberg again, looking for a set. Time to block off the corners. Still 7 minutes to go, and they're having a heartbeat inside already.
Working together, catching up to the red speed of Nyberg and then Saraki right there. And then you got that second group way in the background you see on screen as they try to work together. That being Cyrus Stricklow as Johnson thought about taking a peek to get around the two top carts.
Yeah, Johnson looking for a place to set these up on a silver platter. There it is on the first set, up to fourth, breaks up two teammates in the back of the field. Now, how does Johnson play the next one, Taylor?
Gotta be patient, gotta find that little bit of rhythm he's got, keeping that momentum up, and when he has it, take it and get around as quickly as possible, like he's gonna do right now. To the inside of Kai Mars, sends it, makes the pass, now he's up to third.
Track here. I wonder what these drivers consider with the championship conversation of the junior side. Johnson right now at the edge. Nyberg with this would be in a good spot, but Johnson tried to sizzle underneath, nearly got it to Nyberg, now has to reset.
Gets a good run from this lap, and now Saraki just couldn't make the pass work.
Forward here for what's going to be a stand-up finish, likely with the way things are going. There's been drama all throughout the juniors here this weekend. We've seen some wild ones at the very end with a lot of back and forth, back and forth. We've seen some spins for race leaders in 2 of the heat races this weekend. But now it comes down to how well you can handle the pressure. Nyberg takes the lead, but that might be exactly what Rocky and Johnson may want. Johnson, your points leader, is in second with that move and has a teammate to help him.
Already going to defensive. Johnson trying to go all the way to the grass. Soraki goes above him. He's going to try to go around the outside. Couldn't make it work, but Johnson is definitely putting the pressure on the
Right now, the setup is on for Nyberg to have to play defense. And we know 2 pairings of teammates not going to work out well to be able to have to play the game of musical chairs. Looks like Nyberg having to play defense. There they go. That's exactly what I'm talking about, Taylor. Both the teammates immediately move to the outside, make the move, pass on by, no issue. And now Saraki is with Johnson, second and first respectively. Nyberg is going to have to find a way to bring these drivers up and somehow pit them against each other, you have to think. Wouldn't you say? Oh, and hold on, the 891's off.
Saunders off in the grass. That's what you don't want to have happen. But right now, I think Johnson needs to just keep focused on what's ahead. Soraki just kind of play it out with how things are going. Work with the trap and try to separate yourself from Nyberg. The only way that Nyberg can play that shot is the speed station to the trap. You can tell from the two comes from behind. Soraki to the inside, trying to throw the block behind.
Gonna need a lot of luck here to be able to get this edge. By the way, Mars and Green at the worst possible time are starting to lose a few hundredths of half a tenth here and there. They might not be in the conversation to close things on out the way things are shaping up. How have things been going to the rest of the field? By the way, +5s for Burklow, Bryson, and they've been able to pick up a lot of ground from the teams to be able to get to the top 10. Most of the field outside of that is right where they started or in the conversation to be able to pick up more spots from where they started from here on out. So right now, some of the drivers having to put together some quick work. Here's the teammates duking it out with the swap trap. Saraki to the point.
Johnson to the inside to take over the race lead.
Couple minutes to work with, 1 minute on the timer itself, plus the 2 laps. Taraki takes a small bobble. Nyberg, nothing doing to break it up. What do you do here if you're the 856 here? Because you're obviously not going to put them against each other. You almost have to hope for some luck here. What would you say?
Basically hope that something happens with the 2 teammates and causes real chaos, or you get some help from Mars and Green. But even then, that's still giving up time in that situation.
up to 2 laps to go. Next start by 3 to go on the racetrack. Right now, the gap between the top 3 and the next pack grown already to 2 seconds. Portnov also holding onto a 6th-place run. Decent point stay coming up for Portnov. Oh, that's wow. The clock reaches zeros. Barfield of note. Did get black flag moments ago. He's the only driver that's been pulled off the track. Here's some stands inside. Saraki and Johnson swapping around. Johnson taking over the lead. 2 to go on the day.
Them as they try to determine how this will play out. Johnson all the way to the bottom. Nyberg is going to work with Saraki to push him around the outside.
All sorts of squabbling out again. Coming up to the race lead's final lap. Now Nyberg's in a prime spot to do something, anything, to win this race. Can he get around Saraki? Will he be able to get Johnson to help him? Coming on through, up to the ball. Saraki taking it a higher angle. Now Diamond top of the ramp off the banking. Back straight away they go. Saraki trying to hug the inside. Johnson taking the higher groove. Coming on through the final corners. Johnson tries to slide it outside. Nyberg hugs to the bumper. It's Saraki who gets it done. Nyberg second and Johnson in third. Brandon Saraki wins in KA Junior. Fantastic end of the day for them as the 819 gets it done on the 856, the 810. The rest of the field now crossing the stripe. Green and Mars get to the top 5. Burklow in Portnoy. Again, in 8. Price in Frazier, your top 10. Esling, Sivakumar, Saunders and Barfield, the rest of your running order. Final thoughts, Taylor, before we sign out for the weekend.
Looking forward to seeing how the season wraps up when we head a little bit north to Atlanta Motorsports Park.
On that note, it's just about time to say goodbye. I'd like to thank you for tuning in for today's action of Apex Karting Championships here in the Southeast. Next time out, we'll see you in the month of March from Georgia. But until that mark, for Taylor Burris, for everyone here at Kart Chaser, I'm Justin Britton saying so long. Enjoy the rest of your evening. You've been watching today's action from Jacksonville.
LLC. Any rebroadcast, reproduction, or other use of the images, audio, or accounts of this event, in whole or in part, without the expressed written consent of Kart Chaser Group LLC is strictly prohibited. Thanks for watching.